I request all these personalities to please occupy their place on the dais. Yes. Yes, the corner and keynote speaker are there online with us, and very soon we'll be seeing them. We'll be hearing from them on the importance, the significance of our conference of research, and especially of the theme today. And they are truly international global personalities. But before that, a formal welcome to the most important participant of the day, you all, the presenters and the participants of this conference, the torch bearers of research and knowledge, I would say, because the future is actually in your hands, and you are leading your generations and your contemporaries, and it's actually a matter of pride as a teachers for all of us. So, all the ladies and gentlemen present here, it is my great pleasure to welcome all of you to the Emerging Trends in Management with special reference to Digitization, Chapter 2 of the International Conference of this college. And without wasting much time, I will now welcome and invite our principal, Dr. Mr. Sanju Kapoor, the guiding force, the person who has always believed that it is only the research culture at an education institute that is going to get the institute into a noticeable realm. So Dr. Kapoor has contributed in a great way in creating this research culture, not just here into the institution, but even to the smallest or the grassroots level unit of this college, students. She makes it a point that she personally guides the postgraduate and some of the undergraduate students when they are taking up some research endeavors, and she is personally participating, devoting all her time and efforts personally participating in guiding them. Dr. Kapoor is juggling with multiple roles, multiple hats, I would say, being a leader of an institution, being a fantastic fellow worker. When you work with her in a team, she can be the team leader and the team member at the same time with equal amount of ease. And she has assumed so many roles and has successfully completed and lived all of them. She is an accomplished writer. She is a researcher herself, an educationist and a leader, a mother, a homemaker, and a fantastic friend. Please help me to welcome with a round of applause, Dr. Mrs.
Good morning, friends. Always a pleasure to host these programs because it gives you a fantastic ego boost every year, such a wonderful introduction. Thank you for that. Good morning to my guests, dignitaries, fellow colleagues, my illustrious alumni, heads of department, researchers, and of course, my dear students. 2 weeks ago, we had the privilege of attending the ICETDT 2024, an international research conference of the IT department. And strangely, or because it's IT, the topic was, in fact, generative AI in the current landscape. I won't go into the details because I have no expertise on that area, as I always say, I'm still learning. But the fact that India has actually paid so much of attention to digitalization uh, can be seen even in the endorsement I read recently by someone like Bill Gates, who in his recent visit to India has stated that India has made phenomenal progress and actually the world leader in digital technologies. How heartening is that? Now, in the post-COVID-19 scenario, we have seen a wave of digitalization. We all will agree. We have benefited at that point in time with a surge in digitalization. But currently, the evolving role of companies, CEOs, CIOs, and I think that is where the management study department is going to think about moving at some point in time from an efficient IT operator to a smart business strategist, especially going forward in the year 2024. In fact, I often hear these terms from my colleagues, such as change management, and I see that change management should actually be part of every digital transformation. There must also be closer link between digital transformation and change management. However, we can't talk about transformation involving more than just emerging technologies. Workplace processes and entire business models may change as well over a period of time. And I'm glad this topic made me research and read a little. And in my own little way, I got a little more of research inputs, which I'd like to share with you today. Very brief, with nice examples that I came across. Uh, Real estate company I read online called Cushman and Wakefield. They have launched an AI-based digital transformation strategy recently that spanned traditional AI and generative AI. So now I'm becoming educated on these words thanks to all of you researchers. And I came across that they have found a new approach which they have dubbed it as AI Plus. This aims to help commercial real estate brokers provide clients with greater insights into selection of property sites and pricing. The AI Plus and several AI Plus also supports what is known as a building's energy utilization and several such performance metrics. Because when we are selecting a property, if you have an AI-based AI Plus, as they say, it will be a real boon to the business. So this is an example, classic example of a combination of using digitalization in the business sector. I found this fascinating. AI-based automation processes play well with several businesses and current focus even on what is cost management. I think that's another topic I often hear the BMS teachers talk about, and students also must be well versed with what is cost management. I'm sure the finance teachers do discuss all of this in all 3 years of their course. For a little bit further reading, because this kind of research is all about, I don't know typical definitions of well-known people, but my definition of research is stirring my curiosity. And so with this little bit of reading, my curiosity was stirred further. And I had instructions from the BMS coordinator, Dr. Sriram Deshpande, that ma'am, say something nice. I'm just wondering if this is nice enough, but I'm trying. Because this is curiosity taking me further. I read a statement by a CIO of corporate technology at JP Morgan Chase. And I know JP Morgan Chase is something the business students are going to be well versed with. His name is Mr. Scott Baldry, and he pointed out recently how the importance of data in 2024 is growing. We all know that data is so important. But how is this data going to be managed? That is really important. So I went further and I found that in a review of, again, supply chain management, another term BMS students are so well versed with, the supply chain of data traditionally, what did it involve? Multiple steps across multiple data points to gather and analyze data. And once again, I found something on real estate. Now, in an innovative project in real estate, aggregating data, they use digitalization so beautifully. They aggregate data in a voice-activated chatbot. And that helps brokers address clients' questions during conversations, and it taps structured, unstructured data, external public data, proprietary market analysis data, and research data. All these are terms to us, but I'm sure you're all very familiar with all these terms. So, making aggregated data available through a chatbot reduces the supply chain and shrinks the broker's time, improving obviously his business prospects. So, putting all this together, of course, was fun for me. I read it. I'm not presenting a research paper, and I'm not going to be on evaluation like a lot of you are going to be here. But these are classic examples of how well digitalization is getting merged today with business strategies, and how over a period of time, all these digitalization processes eventually will mean that the major challenge for business owners will be to attract and retain the best talent. Because without talent, having all these strategies and all these chatbot, whatever technique you may be saying, if you don't have good talent, you can't really pull off anything. So with these few words, I think as a leader, as Dr. Mayur very judiciously and liberally said such nice things about me, I think in my fate, for me, the BMS department has had no dearth of talent. So I didn't have too much of a tough challenge to be a leader to a department like this, because they are all very talented. They make a fantastic combination. They are headed by HODs now, Dr. Mayur Vyas, Shivangi. They are having a dynamic Dr. Sriram Deshpande, who is the BMS coordinator. And of course, he is ably supported by a lot of people, and a department full of doctors. Dr. Abhijit Moite, Dr. Naresh Dukhani, Dr. Sharon. Pardon me if I've left out anybody, but Lokesh, who is going to be a doctor very shortly. So we are really gifted with talent, and I think we are one of the finest BMS department that encourages support and research being one of them. So I didn't have too much of a problem nurturing this talent here. Whoever here today online, internationally, also has a fantastic UPG touch to them. And I will leave you all with wanting to listen from them. One of them is being our illustrious faculty and is doing so well overseas. And one of them is our alumni, who's also doing so well overseas. So let's hear it from them. Let's spend the morning today discussing, debating on concepts of digitalization and how these trends and changing trends can impact every aspect of business. It need not be just the business that you go into, but the worldwide view of business also is something that you need to contemplate and learn from. So my compliments to everyone who's put yourself out today in front of the audience, putting a research paper. Some of you could be first-time researchers, and you will get the confidence in your own setting, which is why these research conferences are encouraged. It's a day full of action, curiosity, and also don't forget at the end of the day, you shouldn't be so stressed about it. You should also learn in an environment of fun and ease. So all the best and enjoy your day. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kapoor, for once again telling us the kind of personal connect that you have with the department, with each one of us. And a superhero only gets as powerful as the sidekick. A super leader is then empowered by another, super second in command leader. And the superhero gets more powerful. And to show that, let me now welcome our Vice Principal, Professor Smruti Nanavati, our super second in command to our super leader.
Morning, everyone. And as you all know, and like how Madam has said, we gathered here to share our insights and ideas about research. And the topic of the conference today, organized by the BMS department, is emerging trends in management, with a special reference to digitalization. So, coming to business management, we can say that digitalization is no more separate. It is an integral component of business management. And then talking about business and digitalization, we can say that anything and everything today which is generated as content can be digitalized. You agree to me when I say that even what I'm saying now and what is being recorded is digitalized. So when we talk about digitalization and we talk about all this content coming in, it calls for what is called as big data because it's audio, video, images as well as text. And when it is big data, it cannot be restricted to the silos of an organization. It has to be going on cloud. And when we talk about having all this data put on the cloud, we need to see to it how this is getting some kind of security because it needs security. It is available for everyone to use. But then blockchains come of help. Where everyone says, I know what you're putting on the cloud. So that is what is the consensus that comes. So Madam referred to change management, Madam referred to other chains, and I'm referring to blockchain, which is another way in which the digitalization can be made secure. So other transactions which are cryptocurrency and all, I think you know that this exchange happens and this is secure because of blockchains that are in place. Now, when it comes to sensory devices like the video cams that are there around us and all that, IoT comes to help. IoT plays its role. And IoT has been intelligent enough to give us alerts on dashboards whenever required. So all of this is something which is coming from the digitalized technology that is there. However, because all these decisions and insights are driven by technology, what happens is the raw data gives inputs, the propositions give input, the theories that are there, the way the theories give input to this, it may sometimes not satisfy our requirements. It may sometimes be inadequate, and it may sometimes also be erroneous, as in the case of Dr. Moite would agree to me when he found out problems with the ChatGPT, giving erroneous results. I think many of us would have got such results. Right? So, as researchers, we have to play a role in bridging these gaps and see to it that we minimize these kinds of limitations that the technology would create. Because otherwise, the decision making would not be adequate and proper. So that is why we will today look at all the deliberations which are going to be coming from different participants here. I thank the keynote speaker to have spared some time to the colleague, and Dr. Luras Sabri is already joined, and we have our alumni student, Ms. Heli Mehta, who is an economic consultant. They've joined us online. I think we can see them very soon, and we can hear from them. It is always very exciting to learn from their experiences. So I welcome them, and I welcome all the participants here. Thank you, Department of BMS, for having me here. All the best to all of you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's a long journey for human race from the Adi Manav to AI Manav. Yeah, and that was something, in a true technical way that our Vice Principal ma'am from the IT department trying to tell us. All right, guys. And now it's the time to listen more about the conference, the kind of papers. I only had a cursory look at it and it was so exciting because the application of AI and technology into the fields like education, finance, accountancy, to, how the same can impact even a small business, how the same can impact Gen Z as far as their, music consumption or their day-to-day spending or their personal budget goes. And these are the variety of topics. This is the, large range or the spectrum of topics that we have throughout the day. I'm sure the four distinguished specialist experts who are the track expert. We are going to have a lot of fun, and they will be dwelling into the detailed aspect of each paper. But before that, we have to hear from the convener of the conference about how the conference is planned and how he is planning to execute the rest of the day. Dr. Sriram Deshpande, who has not just guided the board of this conference, also whenever required, he rode with us and put every effort to make this day, make this opportunity happen for all the researchers. Please welcome Dr. Sriram Deshpande.
Thank you, Mr. I hope I'm audible to all online participants. So I'm not going to take much of your time, friends. Just to give you an overview of how many papers we have received. So when we began to plan a research conference, the team suggested that let us continue the existing chapter. So as Bayush said in his speech, this is the second chapter of this particular theme. And when we decided how to conduct it, we thought first to conduct it fully offline, but it is going bang against the theme that we have. So digitalization is something that we thought to keep in mind. So we sort of offered a hybrid mode. And today, let me tell you that from November, we started sharing the brochures with external faculty members and other sources. And today, more than 80 authors have put together 67 research papers, which is not a bad number in my opinion. So there are several tracks that we have created, and these tracks are not one theme specific tracks, but depending on the track expert's comfort level, these tracks are made. So student presentations, which are majorly going to happen offline, will be continued post-inaugural session in this particular room, where the track expert, Dr. Rishika Man, she is here, she will be evaluating you all, and other online tracks and one offline track will happen in the rooms C, D, E, F respectively. The coordinators will inform those who have come here to attend the conference. I'm glad that we have participants from Atul Sir, HR College and Rakeman from Metilai, who have made a point that they are here to present physically. So big round of applause for them. And we have an in-house participant, Professor Geeta Sharma, but she's not around. She'll be joining soon. She's also going to present a paper. And some of us also have tried to write something about it. Just that last announcement, as I have already posted on the group yesterday, we deliberated how to encourage this further. And there cannot be a better way than recognizing a best effort. So there will be two presenters, research paper presentations from both students as well as faculties will be identified and given a certificate at the end. So there will be a best research paper presentation #1 student and runner-up, and there will be a best research paper presentation faculty, not theme-wise, neither track-wise, all put together. Scoring will be done by the track experts, and those who are going to score highest, even if they are 3 or 4, will be declared as the best research paper presentation 1 and 2. So there is a lot for you to achieve, just not the experience of presenting a research paper. One last point, we must applaud the efforts of students of first year, second year, third year who have made effort to write research papers with co-authors. Some of them have written it on their own. So they are good enough to take any challenge that arises. They are writing papers on their own in the first and second year, which is incredible. So with this, I would say thank you all for being here, and definitely there is a formal vote of thanks later on. But it's been an incredible experience so far to organize all this. Student volunteers, teachers, heads of the institutions all have put together great effort. So thank you so much. All of you are keen to listen to the keynote and guest of honor. So let us do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for that. Those details. Yeah, all the dignitaries here are requested to.
So that we can see. Students will go down.
Yeah. Meanwhile, let me tell you that the 4 track experts are also having great academic repute. Dr. Lisa James will be joining us later in the day. She is a professor from Cochin University of Science and Technology. Dr. Mona Mehta, Vice Principal of MKES's Navindas Khandwala College. She will be joining us as one of the track experts. Dr. Rushika Bhojwani is here in presence. I welcome you, ma'am. And she will be evaluating most of the student presentations. She is a professor at School of Branding and Advertising, NMIMS. And Dr. Brinda Sampath, Professor, NMIMS Center for Distance and Online Learning, also will be joining us as one of the track experts. Now, this next task, my dear friend, is making me as nervous as excited because I'm going to introduce a colleague, but normally, with a very great joy, I introduce him as a young achiever, as somebody who is very, very focused in life, and who has achieved and soared great heights into his personal career with making all that look deceptively easy. Please help me welcome Dr. Loras Sabri, our keynote speaker for today, Professor in Accountancy Finance from University of Birmingham, Dubai campus. Dr. Sabri is a qualified BCom Accounting and Finance student from University of Mumbai, 2011 batch, a gold medalist from his college batch, went on to study his master's, specializing in accounting, and completed his MCom in accounting, securing the merit rank from his college affiliated to University of Mumbai in the year 2013. He has completed his PhD in Business Policy and Administration in 2016 with special focus on impact of regulatory announcements on price volatility and trading volume in relation to selective sectors with reference to accounting parameters from the University of Mumbai, and was one of the youngest to achieve a doctorate from the University of Mumbai. Loras is a qualified CFP professional, a certified financial planner, and an active member of the Financial Planning Standards Boards Limited, responsible for continuous education and development of CFP certification across the globe. He has gained the distinguished recognition of a senior fellow of the Higher Education Academy from UK. There is a long list of achievements as far as Dr. Loras Sabri is concerned, but we don't have that much, liberty of time. So I'm stopping here, but all I want to say is, always made us jealous because he was the one with the highest faculty feedback when he taught at UPG. My dear friend and a thorough professional, Dr. Loras Sabri, our keynote speaker for the day.
Unmute yourself. Unmute.
If you are ready, Doctor, now, then we are ready to hear from you. I think you have to unmute if you can hear me, Dr. Sajjan.
Hi, just want to cross-check if I'm audible.
Yes. Good to go. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mayur. It is genuinely, I'm genuinely humbled, genuinely grateful to be present over here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an absolute honor to address such a distinguished audience at this esteemed conference. Today, we are gathered to delve into the fascinating trends emerging in management, especially focusing on digitalization, knowledge management, and so on and so forth. But before I begin, Albert Einstein once said, "We cannot solve problems with the same thinking we used when we created them." In a rapidly evolving world, the landscape of management is undergoing a profound transformation, primarily driven by a digital revolution that is ushered in an era of unprecedented connectivity, accessibility, and innovation indeed. Today, as educators, as managers, and leaders, we stand at the precipice of a new era. It is incumbent upon us to navigate this new landscape where traditional management paradigms are being reshaped and redefined indeed. So, Let us begin with digitalization. A lot of terms are there floating in the market. Digital enablement, AI, process of switching from analog to digital. In management terms, this means a lot for modern day educators, students, as well as researchers. We are leaving behind the methodologies of yesteryear, paper-based workflows, manual operations, out and out. And at the same time, we are embracing new tech tools, AI tools, management-oriented tools for everyday and strategic operations. This has been a trend that has been on the rise for quite some time. Slowly, but efficiently, modern-day management and digital tools are being adopted and used as a practice to reduce human error, improve efficiency, and in the world of macrofinance, as they say, cut costs. What has the pandemic taught us? Digitization has taken a quantum leap into realization. The 2020 pandemic was an event that accelerated advancements at an unprecedented rate, forcing organizations across all industries, tech, AI, HR, pharma, healthcare, to modernize just to stay afloat. Just to stay afloat, I repeat. According to a McKinsey survey in 2020, the companies had to accelerate the digitization programs of customer interactions, logistics, supply chain management, HR, and internal management by 4 years. At the same time, the portfolios of staggering digitally enabled products have grown manifold. I'm sure many of the professionals in the audience today know. Rarely are such transitions accomplished so rapidly. Regardless, the uncertainty of times demanded drastic measures. But what is especially interesting is how these temporary fixes swiftly became the norm. In today's modern management times, we see this as a mere cost-cutting technique. No! It has become a critical component of business management that has enabled data-driven and macro-financial empirical decision-making. Fresh data from the PwC Pulse survey shows that more than 60% of high-level executives believe that, given in the shortage of talent supply, our future growth relies on digital capabilities. Unsurprisingly, the funding for these initiatives have taken serious precedence, becoming a top priority for 80% of modern-day businesses now. This brings us to another interesting emerging trend in the field: heightened investment in holistic core systems and platforms. As Dr. Kapoor mentioned, improved communication and collaboration through digitalization between employees is one of the major trends and benefit of change management. According to a report, connected digital environments can increase employee collaboration by an incredible 55%, ultimately improving dynamic learning, problem solving, and employee experience. And within this domain, knowledge management is garnering increasing attention. You may ask, these systems are just as an exchange that allow organizations to identify, capture, organize, share vital information? So what does this do for management, you ask? Well, if you see the reports and statistics, businesses are easily able to break down data and categorize them on platforms, essentially putting the right information in front of the right person at the right time. Concurrently, safeguarding all these kinds of practices from losing key resources when individuals leave is also of paramount importance. Well, I'm sure many of you have touched base on this important topic of generative AI, and I'm certain many of you have heard of ChatGPT. But hello, hold on. This platform is just one of many. While these tools may seem like a novelty at the first glance, they're actually powerful assets when used in the right context. Be it data mining, be it predictive analytics, modern-day macrofinance, analyzing vast amounts of data, employee performance, project information, trends, patterns, correlations, resource allocation, and planning indeed. Business management has increasingly starting to adopt predictive analytics, anticipating future trends and behaviors. Now, this capability is particularly beneficial for talent management, international business, and finance. There is a statistic out in the market. Already 86% of modern day HR and business leaders are using AI in some capacity, and its use will only increase further beyond 2024, so on and so forth. While there is no question that these trends are driving business continuity, they also bring some unique challenges in terms of ethical, legal, and societal complications. You may see data privacy concerns, cyber attacks. According to a recent study by the IBM, the average cost of single data breach is skyrocketing, increasing 15% for companies year over year. At this rate, estimates indicate by 2030, the associated fallout to manage digital transformation could be at a staggering $10.5 trillion worldwide. While this can be shocking and devastating, customer trust and long-term viability is the need. The proliferation of digitalization has created a legal landscape constantly in flux, with regulatory and compliance requirements changing time to time. Organizations are finding they need to remain extra vigilant and adaptable. Yes, there is a growing need to examine the role of digital transformation in crisis management, response, disaster preparedness, response, recovery. These are important areas, understudied aspects of digital transformation that deserve further attention and wider research prospects. In conclusion, I would say the future of management is brimming with immense opportunities and formidable challenges for organizations and leaders worldwide. And as we embark on this transformative journey, let us embrace the future of management with optimism, curiosity, and more importantly, humility. Let us leverage the power of AI, tech, digitalization, sustainable growth. Today, together, we can shape a future where organizations thrive, communities prosper, and individuals flourish. And soon there will be a day wherein we collaboratively absorb the emerging facets of digitalization of a new world order imbibed within the flexible days. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that power-packed and very inspiring speech, Dr. Sabri. And of course, Dr. Sabri, as you can see, is very, very young, but has so much knowledge and so much experience already to share with us. And that's what happens when you have, a topic like emerging trends in management, with special reference to digitization. You always learn from the youngest. So we, young people, of course, are sitting and learning from the youngest. And the next speaker for the day, our guest of honor, is even younger than our keynote speaker. As ma'am has already mentioned, Smriti ma'am has already mentioned, she had been an alma mater of this college, and she has also been a very good student academically, now an achiever globally. Please help me welcome Ms. Haley Mehta, economic consultant and currently working with World Bank, an ex-student of Usha Praveen Gandhi College of Arts, Science and Commerce. And a brief introduction of Haley. Haley is recently graduated from the London School of Economics and Political Science, LSE, popularly known as, and she was only Indian to be appointed as an independent director on board of this university from 2020 to 2022. In London, she was a part of Rishi Sunak's team, and recently her economic policy got implemented in the United Kingdom. Her economic policies and suggestions have been also implemented by Indian Ministry of Finance, Finance Ministry of Rwanda, Angola, and Turkey, She is also a permanent member of the United Nations in New York, where she has first represented India at the age of 17, my dear friends, for her conflict management and negotiation skills, along with her professional accomplishments. Her mission in life is to work towards poverty eradication through intervention in youth skilling, economic inclusion, and women empowerment. My dear friends, I don't even know from which part of the world she will be speaking to us this morning or this night, maybe, whatever it is there. Midnight probably. So already we are apologizing for making you trouble and stay up at this unearthly hour to speak to all of us. But dear friends, she advises governments across 11 countries and 5 regions of the world in order to improve their on-field program implementation and make targeted investments so that economic benefits uh, can be materialized, such as cash and in-kind transfer, uh, reach the poorest in time. A skill set involves undertaking programs, evaluations, proposing fiscal policy recommendations, and performing data analysis. With a huge round of applause, we must welcome our guest today, guest of honor, Miss Henry Mehta. Henry, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mayur sir. I am so delighted to be here today, and I'm really humbled to see all of you and being invited here. This reminds me of my time first when I joined a research conference that was based on the VUCA theme. And I think that really sparked my interest. So I'm so glad that we've received 60 papers as submissions, and that kind of shows what is the energy that the college has sustained and is still imbibing within its students. So I'm very glad to be back and talking at my alma mater, although that's virtually, but nonetheless, that was what was best possible. Also very happy to see all of you all, and to also hear from Loras sir, who I remember taught us. So I'm very thrilled, and without wasting much time, I'll get straight into what I have to talk about. I have a quick PPT which I'll be using as an aid. So. Just wanted to do a quick rain check. Can you view my presentation?
Yes.
Loading, yeah.
Okay, that's perfect. Again, thrilled about the topic. But before I just wanted to quickly run through the agenda, which is giving a quick snapshot of my career. Second, I'll be delving into the conference theme. Third is about my work at the World Bank. And the fourth one is basically talking more about how my work integrates with the theme of the conference. So I think when I talk about a snapshot of my career journey, I believe there have been 3 integral steps. First is foundation building, which I think attributes to mostly skills building, primary subject knowledge and values, and which I completely believe that has been imbibed in an institution such as UPG. I think my teachers and all my friends and supporters have played a very instrumental role there. Talking about my work in India, I think the ground realities and the sectoral context was what I really got from my work in India. And then the global exposure was doing my master's and now working at the World Bank has actually given me the chance to have an advanced subject knowledge, apply the right skills at the right place, and also given me a chance and a willingness to experiment around going beyond what were conventional career routes that I wanted to either go for. And I feel all through this journey, continuous learning, persistence, focus, and mentorship is something that I've really valued and that has given me what I have. So this is about what is really enabled in helping me grow at both a personal and a professional level. Talking about shared synergies and coming to the conference themes, I think I come right now from an area of development sector, although I've been a management student, and management is a skill that I think stays with you throughout your life and is very important. So I'm going to try and talk about something that works between the three of this. Quickly running through what the World Bank is, it's basically comprised of 5 institutions.
Sorry to interrupt. Are you changing the slides because we only see the first one that you put up?
Do you? Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay.
I can also do it from here.
Yes. Okay, no worries. So this is largely what enabled my career growth, and that's what I was talking about shared synergies. I think that's more my role at the World Bank. And talking now about the bank is, the bank basically comprises of 5 institutions, which is which is working with governments, working with the private sector, and working with tribunals. My role basically involves working with governments, and that's basically providing them advisory services such that the money reaches the poorest at the quickest time possible and in a timely manner. So that's my work with the IBRD, and wherein I work with about 11 countries in 5 regions globally. But the institution as a whole comprises of, the bank as a whole comprises of 5 other institutions. Talking about its goal, I think that very much aligns to my personal mission, which is working on poverty eradication, and that's through interventions in human development outcomes. Also, digitalization is a core pillar of what we are working on. Currently, we have about 1,700 projects that are undergoing globally, and the loan disbursements that we do on an annual basis as of fiscal year 2020 was $265 billion US dollars. So it's a great institution that works on financial inclusion, economic inclusion, and at the same time, I see how digitalization has enabled both of this across all regions globally. So talking about our global commitments, I think within South Asia, if you see the one in slightly pink is about 20%. And one of our largest borrowers of loans has actually been India, followed by Sub-Saharan Africa. That's again where one of our largest portfolio lies. And again, our main focus in these 2 regions has primarily been in the area of economic and financial inclusion. And as you can see here, India annually borrows about 16% of our portfolio, which is one of the highest numbers, followed by Pakistan and Bangladesh. So coming to our conference and its topic, I just wanted to give a quick overview of what the bank is, how what I'm going to talk about relates to the conference. So that was a quick overview, and then talking about actually measuring digitalization. I recently read a newspaper article which said that India ranks 3rd globally in terms of its digital access penetration. And I was absolutely shocked to see that, because with Aadhaar and UPI and with us having data packs that are so reasonable and affordable, I think the digital penetration has increased. But there still remains concerns about data privacy. We receive so many spam calls. I think there still remains a concern about trust and AI and how all of this is going to integrate. So as Loras sir, I think, has already addressed, we think about digitalization mostly in terms of payments and access, but there's so much more. And these are the 3 indices previously that were used to capture and measure digitalization, which is the e-government development index, the Network Readiness Index, and the ICT Development Index, but these were not comprehensive. And I recently got introduced to an index, which is the CHIPS Index, which has about 50 indicators that talks about connect, harnessing, innovation, protecting, and sustaining data. And all of this comprehensively actually helps an economy, a country, and at a user level capture what is the digital penetration, how much digitalization is playing an important role, and to what extent has it enabled outcomes for businesses, for individuals, and for economies. So my work involves basically the areas that we look at is in terms of access, affordability, financial services, and public sector payments. We also extremely believe in data privacy and creating an environment of trust. And at the same time, my work in the area of education also involves somewhere the green digital tech integration that's there. So what I'm going to talk about is how access, affordability, and public sector payments has a digitalization in these areas has actually enabled exponential growth. In fact, India was going to achieve its digital penetration in the next 5 decades, but it is only because of COVID that it could achieve this target over a period of 7 years. And I was so surprised to read about this in a recent report at the bank. And I'm so happy to read about this. So quickly talking about my work in Angola, since this was a research conference, I thought about why not presenting something that I've very recently worked on, which is with the government of Angola and the Ministry of Finance there. So one of the concerns the ministry and the government had there was, especially about 1/3 of its population is poor, which is 1 in every 3 people. And because of COVID, the poverty was further deepening. And this means government had no other source of relying on for tackling this problem. So what they thought about was giving cash to the poor. And in a country like Angola, when you think about, when you actually go on field, you see that they don't even have a roof to live. Probably the cleanest drinking water that they have seen is brown in color. They don't even have, they've never seen a school in their life. They don't know what good electricity is or what even a light is. And at such a time when a government is talking about giving cash transfers, that's absolutely impossible. So what we do here is, in a country where there's no digital infrastructure, we don't know what is the name of this person, where is he even living, does he even exist? The government has no idea of what the population actually comprises of. We basically worked on 3 important areas. First is we've worked on providing funds so that the government can give money to these people at the time that they need, so that the poverty is not exacerbated during such a tough time. Second is we work with development partners across the UN on committing to a humanitarian assistance such that we can jointly fund these interventions and the money reaches the poorest in a timely manner. And the third one is we help the government set up a public digital payment infrastructure such that from the Ministry of Finance, if the payments have to reach the poorest, they're reached with minimum cost and in the most time-sensitive manner. And then talking about identification of individuals, I think one big move in India is Aadhaar, which is a national identity card. And that's basically linked to everything and any database that you talk about, right? From your SIM card to your college registration, to a bank account that you want to open if you have an Aadhaar that basically gives you access to so many facilities and services. And similarly, we worked on a digital ID similar to that in Angola, wherein we helped the government enroll a population of about 4 million individuals that belong to the poorest category, so that we can identify, we can enroll them, and so that the money reaches to them during the toughest times. And the last but not the least, now just like in a classroom, we have a registry wherein the teacher knows that, oh, we have about 100 students in this class, and so is their roll number. That helps the teacher basically understand how should the class flow and what should he or she be doing, how should he be delivering the lecture, what is the fee structure that should be set by the college, etc. So we helped actually the government set up a registry for the nation, so that the government actually knows which people are living in which areas, how can they be managed, how can cash be reached to them, how can they be digitally integrated into the system, the digital public infrastructure. And also there's a management information system, which is a platform on which there's the data of all the individuals that's uploaded, so that they can be tracked, their incomes can be tracked, and interventions can accordingly be decided for them. And one of the very interesting outcomes of this project was we saw that about 2 million individuals received money, the cash transfers that the government had designed, within a span of a year from when the government has announced. So from a time when they had no infrastructure to a time where 2 million individuals actually started receiving money. The second was in the registry that I was talking about 4 million individuals were registered, which actually the government didn't know about. They didn't know these people existed in some corner of Angola. And the third one is, and the fourth one is, I'd say they receive cash on time. So let's say now I have been hit by an earthquake. I have no source of income. I have no source of money. And I don't know what is going to be my next meal. So we want to make sure this money reaches to the poorest right when the earthquake has hit, so that they have food, money to buy food, money to buy or move or migrate to another place. So that's what economic and financial inclusion means in a context when there's conflict, when there's fragility, or when there's violence. And that's largely been my team and us working across different governments and helping them set up these systems in very challenging times, and how managing and digitalization has played a very important role in terms of ID, in terms of payment, in terms of improving access, in terms of acting as a key enabler of poverty eradication from where the space that I've been working in. So that's it from my end, and that's what I wanted to largely talk about. I hope this conference actually sets the theme for and encourages all of us to explore the areas that we are really, really interested in. I think this conference set the base for me to get interested in research, and I hope that does for so many students that are present here. And I'd be very happy to answer any questions anyone may have after even I've presented today. Thank you so much again for inviting me.
Thank you so much, Helly. And let me tell you that the first person who is very eager to speak to you is our principal, Dr. Kapoor. I'll be inviting her here. But as we can see from the speech or the points that she has covered, digitalization is becoming such a great equalizer. From the third world nation that we're speaking about, and she is already sitting into the first world nation or the developed nations, and she is talking about how everything is brought under one cover in order to make the efforts to make everyone equal. and to make sure that the benefits percolate downward, even to the grassroots level, and everybody gets the benefit of economic and digital development. Thank you so much. That was Delhi Mehta, and as I always say, the protagonist of this story written by Paulo Coelho, The Alchemist, Santiago, he had to travel the world in order to find out that there was a treasure into the backyard. Delhi is a treasure in the backyard, and we, who were, the part of the process of blooming Delhi out here, we didn't realize that, but it was Anju Kapoor. Dr. Anju Kapoor always kept a tab of where Delhi is and what she is doing and how her progress is. Personally, which she is not required to, but she went out of the way and did that. And it only, calls for, fulfilling her wish that she wants to speak to you. I don't think she is having a question, but she just wants to connect with you. So, ma'am, you can come here and she can see you speaking. Yeah.
If she's able to hear you,
You can hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so good morning from here, and I think it's post midnight in Washington, DC. And I really want to say that what you presented made me so proud of you. It's the kind of, seriously, this really means that, UPG has talent, and you're a standing example of that because you're there in a advanced economy, making a difference. And I'm sure a lot of my students from UPG are making a difference in their own way, in different cultures, different economies, different business. But this was so heartwarming to see, especially this project that you mentioned in Angola, that I'm sure we all should give you an ovation for taking UPG, into the interiors. You've actually gone there, you've witnessed it, as you mentioned, your field study. So as a proud, proud parent and a mother, I am so overwhelmed with what you're doing. And keep up the good work is all I can say. My good wishes and blessings for you. And more than me keeping in touch with her, I think I must give this credit back again to Ellie, because she makes it a point to keep in touch with me. One of the things I always tell students when they take a letter of recommendation is all I want in return is an email from you, wherever you are, whichever part of the world you go, you have to email me. And I think Ellie has done that. Regularly, she's been in touch with me, and I definitely feel really very proud about your work. So God bless you, Ellie, for doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. On that note, I would say the hashtag for today at UPG could be stay connected.
Yes.
For all our students, current and past, please stay connected. This is your home. This is your family. These are your roots. Please stay connected to your roots. Thank you so much, Helen. Thank you so much. With your speech, your work, your presence here makes us so proud about, boasting that you are a student of us. And it's really great to see you progressing, and you are so happy doing this great work, which is making millions other happy also. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I have always felt home, and UPG will always be a home for me. So I must thank you all for the environment and space that you all created for us. And I miss that. I miss that here, especially being away from India. So thank you again.
Thank you so much. You will be hosted and you will be welcome here whenever you are in India. Please do visit us. It's an upgraded home now. It's an A+ college. So please do come and do visit us. Thank you so much.
Because you make college a night now.
Yeah.
Sunday night.
Yes. Super night or good morning or whatever it is. Thank you so much. I also welcome Dr. Professor Mona Mehta, Vice Principal of having us one of our track experts today. She will be judging one particular track of presentation. And with that, I think we have come to the conclusion of the inaugural ceremony. Only to mark it, we present our gratitude with vote of thanks. I request the convener of the conference, Dr. Shriram Deshpande, to propose vote of thanks.
Thank you. So, Let me take this opportunity to thank first of all the management, SVK members, the office bearers, college mentor of our institution for giving all the necessary permissions for this kind of events. Let me thank our principal, Dr. Anju Kapoor, for constantly supporting and guiding in such endeavors. Let me also thank our vice principal, Professor Mrs. Smriti Nanavati Madam, for encouraging continuously in such efforts that we initiate. Let me also thank our registrar, Kalika Khadigar Madam, for all her support and the constant encouragement that she extends. Let me thank teaching and non-teaching staff members as well of this college who have given necessary support. See, a conference like this is not possible without efforts of authors and co-authors. So let me first importantly thank all those who have written papers, authors as well as co-authors, and also presenters who are going to be here. In advance, I am thanking you on behalf of this institution. Let me also thank two advisors of this particular event. One being Dr. Mayur Vyas himself, who has done a fantastic job of being a host. And other advisor, our mentor, I would say, the very first coordinator under whom I have worked, Shivangi Madam, please round of applause for her. And the other teacher members of this particular team, all these smart things, Vijay has to be thanked for. Dr. Naresh, for constantly giving all the necessary support. He's going to be the faculty coordinator for track 2. Then Vijay is going to be the coordinator for track 1. Dr. Sharon, who is also going to be coordinating all of your presentations. And lastly, soon to be Dr. Mukesh, I would say, who will be in charge of all the photography and everything, and also will be in charge of the track 4. Nothing is possible without a team effort, so I must thank all of them for always being there. And thanks to keynote speaker, Dr. Loram Sadari, to accept our invitation and very quickly, in a very short span of time, very power-packed numbers he shared, and we set the tone for this team today. Also, thanks to Heli Mehta for being a guest of honor, and I totally agree with ma'am. Her presentation has made us feel really proud, and she is working at an international level like World Bank. Also, special thanks to track experts, to Mona ma'am, Dr. Rishika, Dr. Lisa James, who is joining online from QSAT, and Dr. Brinda Sampath, who is joining from NMIMS. Special thanks to student volunteers. 5 of them who have been working since last 1 week. Vidhi and Kashish, Tanmay and Param. These are wonderful help. I must have mentioned the name. Special thanks to BA program. Ashish sir, thank you for lending this particular room A, which is making all the things possible. And support staff for all arrangements, Harun sir, and other staff members who help us all the through. So thank you so much, guys. Now we will start the presentations. Okay, the student presentations, student presenters will stay back in this room for their physical presentations, and prospective faculty coordinators will guide the other members right. Before we close this, ma'am, would you please felicitate our track experts? I would request Dr. Anju Kapoor to felicitate Dr. Mona ma'am. Sir. Okay, go ahead. Can I have a click on this, please? Loras and Heli, if you're there, if you want your gift, fly down. Round of applause, please. Respective faculty coordinators will introduce these the track experts later, and I would request our Vice Principal, Professor Mrs. Smriti Nanavati, to felicitate the track expert, Dr. Rishika ma'am. Please round of applause. All students graduates, you will be graduating. Further, we will round of applause. All right, thank you so much, everybody. I would now request all the faculty coordinators to take over. Okay, thank you so much.
So the inaugural session is over here. You can take a 10 minutes break and then report to your respective track. And we will be proceeding with the presentations, the most interesting part of it. Thank you so much.
Be there around.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
Because we'll share the screen here, na?
Yeah, yeah.
ठीक है. रिकॉर्डिंग आप बाद में कर. तो कर दूं यहाँ पे.
एक मिनट हाँ
Sure.
just a minute, give me a minute. आप लगा दीजिए पेन ड्राइव इंटरनेट पे. या
तो यहाँ पे कर दूं क्या ये फोल्डर अभिजीत मोहिते का है वहाँ पे कर दूं.
फोल्डर पे डेस्कटॉप पे लगा दीजिए मैम.
ये तो अलग फोल्डर बना दूं. रिसर्च प्रेजेंटेशन लिख देती हूँ. तो मैंने रिसर्च प्रेजेंटेशन बनाया. मेरा पेपर भी रख रही हूँ इफ शी आस्क्स अ क्वेश्चन. ठीक है.
श्रेया का भी डालने दो.
इसी में डाल दूँ रिसर्च प्रेजेंटेशन. चलिए. कशिश.
Come have a seat. Huh?
सर एक चेयर ले आए क्या यहाँ पे?
Yeah. हाँ, एक मिनट मैम.
Should I ask the pew? सर बैठ के करने. सर sit down. आराम से करें.
आपने डेस्कटॉप पे रखा है ना?
हाँ सर डेस्कटॉप पे रिसर्च प्रेजेंटेशन फोल्डर बनाया है वहाँ पे रखा है. ये दो मेरे हैं. एग्जिट कर दें. पेनड्राइव.
पेन ड्राइव एग्जिट निकाल दीजिए. क्या निकालिए, कोई वांधा नहीं.
I think first sir का presentation के बाद हो गया ना. First I think there is one sir who is given. Just
So would you like to switch on the PPT, sir? This it's ready, sir. Nisa ma'am, are you there online? Nisa ma'am? Nisa James ma'am?
Not this is the link.
So she's there. I can see NG over here. So I've said, see, this is her.
am I audible?
Nisa ma'am? Yeah, you're
Yes, good
audible,
morning,
ma'am.
sir.
Your camera,
Hi, Nisa ma'am. Sriram here. Hi.
your camera is not on, ma'am.
Okay, let me just
So,
see.
yeah. This is yours, no, sir? You're going in first, no?
Just
As per what is the as per the
fourth है.
you're fourth, na?
हाँ.
Okay.
पण PPT का ओपन करूंगा. स्क्रीन शेयर नहीं है ना सध्या.
हाँ, सध्या स्क्रीनशॉट नहीं है.
मी आज सकाळी ऍक्च्युली थोडं काही मी लेटेस्ट होती डाउनलोड केली.
हाँ जी, तुम्ही मेल केली होती तीच डाउनलोड.
नाही काल रात्री पण एक केली होती.
नाही, आता सकाळची आता आहे ना, ही बघा, ही सकाळची आता तुमचा मेल आलेला ना तुमच्यासाठी. हा, आता सकाळी पाठवलं तर तुम्ही.
हाँ हाँ
हा, मी आज सकाळी केलं.
ठीक है.
ठीक आहे सर?
हाँ डन.
Ma'am, are you? Ma'am, shall we begin, ma'am?
Sir, am I audible? This is Nisa.
Yeah, Nisa ma'am, you are audible. Just wanted to, introduce you, ma'am. So if you could, ma'am, switch on your camera, we can start,
In
ma'am.
fact, I have put it on, but I don't know why this is not getting displayed.
Recording.
I'll do something. Shall I exit and join once again?
Yeah, you can try to do that, ma'am. If you can just exit and just try it once again. Yes, ma'am. You're now visible, ma'am. Your camera is on.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, ma'am.
Okay, so good to go. Good morning to all.
Yeah. Ma'am, can I start with the introduction, ma'am?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. I have Dr. Nisa James, ma'am. I would like to introduce the track expert for track 1, Dr. Nisa James. Dr. Nisa James is an assistant professor at School of Management Studies, CSAT, that is Cochin University of Science and Technology. A trained engineer with 12 years of teaching experience. She was working as an assistant professor in the Department of Management Studies, Kannur University, and is an MOE's Innovation Cell and AICTE recognized innovation ambassador. She is conferred accredited management teacher awarded by AIMA, and she has won Best Paper Award in paper presentation at national and international conferences, and has research interest in operations, behavior, economics, marketing, and education, with publication in reputed journals, including ABDCA and Scopus Q1 categories. She is the recipient of the international research grants from Sumitomo Foundation, Japan, and Chief Minister Nawa Kerala Postdoctorate Fellowship of 2223. Ma'am, it's a delight for us, your presence in the meeting. And I request the first participant to be ready with the presentation. Uh, Yes, so as per the track 1, I would like to just brief everyone about what exactly is going to be the case. Everyone will be given 6 minutes of time. Within 6 minutes, you would need to complete with the presentation. And once when the presentation is completed, you will be given 2 minutes for a question answer session. In the meantime, I would request the next participant to be ready with the screen. Once when you're done with your presentation, you can stop sharing the screen, and the other participant can begin with sharing the screen. I would like to call on the first serial number, that is Valentina Vincent Kini and Mrs. Varsha Ganatra. Please, if you could share your meeting, share your slide, we would be starting off with the presentation. Yes. The paper is The Transformative Power of Social Media Advertising on Consumer Behavior in the Travel and Tourism Sector. Uh, Ms. Valentina Vincent Kini or Dr. Mrs. Varsha Ganatra. Nisa ma'am, this particular presenter is not present right now. Can we go ahead with the next one?
Sure, let's not waste time. We'll go to the next presentation.
Yeah. So we have the next presentation, that is Ms. Geeta Sharma, Dr. Neema Joan, Dr. Mangesh Karandikar, and the paper is multimodal in stop motion animation films, right?
So you need to share
Yeah,
this one.
share this one.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. We have ma'am with us. Yes.
I changed it. It's not good.
Yeah. Ma'am, you have got 6 minutes starting now.
I hope I'm audible, ma'am.
You can use the right arrow button. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
You're audible.
Okay. So the topic is, okay, thank you. Multimodality in stop motion animation film. That is what is my study all about. Let's understand what is multimodality. It is using more than two modes in order to communicate an information. Multimodality is an approach which is basically ensured in lot of communication. It is a semiotic resource and it helps you to understand a particular meaning. So there are different modes that are used today, and today we are living in a modal form of communication. All right, and without which it is very difficult to communicate these days. Just some few examples, like children books are multimodal in nature. Not only the pictures, the texture, the feeling of holding a particular book is also communicating. The colors are communicating. The fonts are communicating. Everything and the way you are placing the words also are communicating. So similarly, I looked through a lot of literature review with respect to, and even audio is also multimodal in nature. This is just a small uh, okay, now even audio is multimodal in nature because like if you see the particular glimpse that I had shared right now, the particular audio piece that I've shared, it gives a feeling that it is a theme music of a news channel, right? So there are a lot of things that are communicated in audio. It's the music, it could be the kind of voiceover narration that is used, the speech that is used, the music effect that is also used, all is also multimodal. Multimodal doesn't mean that it needs to be a part of different medium. It could be within the medium itself, there are different layers of communication.
Speed, the bold new expression.
One sec. Even in this is just a glimpse of an ad since we have lack of time, but just to give a quick brief, even in advertising, everything is multimodal, like the color theme that has been used, the audio that has been used, the music, the graphics, if at all that is used in an advertisement, the background score, and the dialogue delivery, a conversation that strikes between people who are basically part of the advertisement. Okay, I'll quickly. This is just a glimpse, so I'll go directly. Even text are being multimodal these days. How are you placing the text? What is the template that you're using? What is the font that you're using? Whether it's placed on the left-hand side or on the right-hand side, everything is multimodal. Similarly, pictures are also multimodal in nature, right? And even graphics also. And even the outdoor designs, the kind of language, the kind of graffiti that you're using, the way you're placing the image, the text, everything is multimodal in nature. So I have even memes today are multimodal because the context within which a meme is being spoken, the picture, the written text. All right. So this is one example that I picked up from a research paper. Uh, then I'll directly this. And today in this world, we are in a multimodal interactive platform, be it YouTube, be it WhatsApp, everything is driven through text, audio, video, and everything is, and even graphics, everything is happening real time. So the study that I'm looking at is stop motion animation films. I'll just quickly go through that. Like these are further examples of literature review wherein advertisements have been understood through the multimodal angle. How have they communicated through verbal as well as non-verbal? And these are the three films that I've taken into consideration. These are stop motion animation films nominated at Oscars: Negative Space, Lost and Found, and Sister. Okay, generally stop motion animation, they try to give inanimate objects a feeling as if they are living beings through the way that they are shot. The cinematic experience makes you feel as if they are real objects. They have motion in them. These are the questions. What are the semiotic modes and multimodality used in these films, and what is the perception of young adults that I've taken into consideration? I'd shown them these films and whether they could understand the storytelling which was done through stop motion animation. So these are the hypotheses, null as well as alternate. They are not able to understand the narrative structure, whereas the alternate is they are able to understand the narrative structure of stop motion animation film.
5 minutes over, ma'am.
1 minute is there,
Yeah.
right? Okay, fair enough. So negative space is basically talking about this journey, the communication that happens between the father and son. It's only over a luggage and they don't have any kind of relationship as such. And so I have done scene by scene analysis of all the three films into consideration. Same Lost and Found, it's about a friendship between a dinosaur and the fox and how they are ready to do anything in order to help each other. Dinosaur is ready to give away its life in order to help the fox. And the next, so I have done the scene by scene analysis of this. And I've also done scene by scene analysis for Sister. It's about a sister who never existed. It's about a brother's, brother's purview. You understand that there was no sister. The reason is they had to. All right, fine. I'll directly go to the final. So I had done one sample t-test. So these were the factors: visual, monologue, set design, color scheme that was used in the stop motion animation, as well as the storytelling. As you can see, the mean score was higher. It was more than 4.2 around in all the films. So the students were shown these films and so they gave a higher score for all the films, but they were mostly connected to Lost and Found because it was about friendship. So they could connect with it immediately as compared to the other films. Sister was about one child policy scheme in China, and they couldn't understand that much. And this was the overall, the p-value is lesser than 0.005. That's the reason my null hypothesis, I am not accepting my null hypothesis. So they are able to understand the overall structure. Yeah, the last slide now, just a second. So we can say that the narrative structure of stop motion animation film the young adults were able to understand it, and they gave a lot of impetus to storytelling and animation as far as the factors of analysis is concerned. Yeah, thank you so much.
The next presenter be ready. Ma'am, do you have any questions for the participant?
Yes.
Ma'am, you have there's a question, ma'am.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Hello. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so that's an interesting study. Do you have similar studies being done in any part of the world?
Ma'am, many have studied as far as cinema is concerned, but as far as stop motion animation, not many have studied it. People have studied trailers, but people have not studied the entire film.
Okay, so what is the actual motivation behind the study, or in other words, what is the implication of the study?
Implication of this study is that it's easier to understand what actually is working today. Like what, see, this study was restricted to young adults. And so you could do it with various different age groups and basically understand how do they view a particular cinema format. What are the factors of actual, sorry?
But then who is the target audience of these kind of stop motion animation videos? So you must be looking at the target audience to get the response, right? So what is the point of doing a study among different age groups?
different age group. I'm saying not necessarily only on stop motion. You can do it with variety of films. Film in itself is not restricted to a specific age group. Actually, I have taken into consideration only young adults as far as the study is concerned, but it can be spread across all the age groups because you can't specify that there is a specific target age group as far as film is concerned, because film is something, it's a viewing experience which everybody enjoys, be it stop motion, be it your regular commercial cinema, or be it art cinema. So you can understand which are the factors which are working today, like what is really making them actually sit back and actually enjoy the particular film. So this would add a lot of value for the people who are actually contributing and creating films actually. So I would suggest that not only stop motion, you can do it in variety of ways, but mostly multimodality has been done in short format. Like for example, for advertisement, there have been a lot of studies that have been done, but there haven't been studies which have been done specifically on stop motion. And I love animation, so I thought I should take up a study with respect to stop motion animation.
So when you are planning to take this to the next level, that is when you plan to extend the study further and publish, send for publications, you must be justifying with, the research gap or the significance of the study. You should look at, trying to compare with the existing studies that are done.
Existing study, yes,
and,
yes.
You should be justifying why you limited to this particular age group, whether the videos, whether this kind of, stop motion animations are targeting this particular age group. So you must be having some literature support to justify your
Yes, ma'am.
this particular limitation. The constraint is that you are
Limitation.
limited to a particular age group. So if that is the only target group that these kind of animation movies are targeting, then it is fine. You
Okay.
need not.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. So I hope you got the point.
So you are saying to basically explain the logic why you have restricted your target audience is
Yes, of course.
the target group for this particular study.
There are a lot of studies conducted among university students. You can see a lot
Right.
of studies
Sure,
limited
sure.
to university students, and obviously reviewers will ask you why you limited to university students. So
University students, yes.
there are ample references that justify that the results that we get from this particular category is as good as you getting it from the general public. So the significant difference is very less. So in that case,
So
you'll be able
that's
to
the reason.
justify.
Yes, yes. Understood, ma'am. Understood. All right.
Okay. All the best.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Can we have Kanaka Ghosh is present?
Yes, sir, I'm there. Kankana
Yes,
Ghosh,
ma'am.
yeah.
Can you please start with your PPT?
Yeah, sure. Sure. Just give me a minute. Sir.
Yeah, ma'am. You can start
Yeah,
the PPT.
is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So,
You can go full screen, ma'am.
okay. So, good morning, everyone. It's a topic is India towards cashless economy. It's an overview. I just want to start with the basic keywords. I think everyone is aware about what is cashless economy, what is digital financial inclusion. Like recently, we have number of studies regarding that, and India is almost progressing towards. So instead of going through the different keynotes, I just want to, because time limit is very short, so I just switch on. I don't think I need to explain on this point. So start with the Indian scenario. Yes, we have already started. We have already started almost 20 years back with starting point. If we see, we have RTGS, we have NEFT initially, then Digital India movement, then PMJDY, then direct benefit transfer, then recent, if you are looking about CBDC, these are the way India is progressing towards cashless economy. Now, part of literature review, if I'm looking at three I have mentioned over here, so a lot
Ma'am, if
more
you're
I have
changing the
started.
slides, ma'am, they are not changing, ma'am.
Are
you trying to change the slides, ma'am? Because it's still on the first slide.
Yes, from my end it's changing. I'm sorry. It's still not visible, the slide changing.
No, ma'am.
1 minute, sir.
You can perhaps, ma'am, you can just stop the screen sharing and start it again.
Okay,
Yeah, now it's visible.
Thank you. Visible? Then I've stopped sharing actually.
Ma'am, slides are not visible.
Yeah, I just stopped it. So minute. Is it changing? Literature review is there.
It's still loading, ma'am. Yeah.
Oh.
It's visible right now. Introduction.
Only introduction. Okay, so it takes time. Is it literature review? I think it's a network issue. What should I do?
Now we see the literature review slide.
Okay. So yes, out of these three, one is World Bank study, who has given us the idea of different parts of the world and how they are taking or what are the switching mode of these countries towards cashless payment. Another is studies regarding different financial inclusion instruments. And the third one I recently found it, that is by one of the president of Nigeria, where they are actually likely to adopt India's system of UPI payments method. So moving towards my objectives. Objectives visible. So progression of payments towards system indicators and reasons behind opting for cashless payments. Perception of youth, that is I want to focus on what is the perception of youth regarding cashless and how can I relate financial inclusion with the cashless payment? Is there any relationship between cashless payment and financial inclusion or not? So research methodology, it's both primary and secondary data. Secondary data from RBI website and primary data, I just done a survey again targeting young people 18 to 25 years. Of course, comfortable our college students, few of other high school students, different college students, and that is the target audience in order to understand what is the youth perception. Definitely, this is a large way of study. So I have confined into 2-3 variables and very small database. So definitely it can be extended on a further way. Study I design in 3 parts. First, I make a comparison world and India standpoint, then an all over India database, and then my primary study. Please, can you please let me know whether the screen is visible or not? A comprehensive global
ma'am,
outlook.
it's visible.
Thank you. So first of all, again, I want to mention this is the data 2021 recent data. I don't know, I'm not getting in proper way. I'm getting from different. So 2021 as per India was 52% of Indian was opting for cashless payment. But if I compare the population of India, till we can say it's not a negligible amount. And it's 2021 and now it's 2024. Hope I'll be able to get a proper record. And this is an emerging trend. Now, if I come into Indian overview, it's a total digital payment. Total digital payment as per RBI, RTGS, NEFT, card, and mobile payment. So total digital payment is definitely showing an increasing trend, 2019 and 23. Last 4 years data I'm taking. And another part I'm taking, what is the aggregate deposits kept in the bank? That part I want to show, yes, people are moving towards cashless. That's why that deposits in bank is showing an continuous increasing trend from 17 to 2023. And payment system indicators, the first graph for showing, yes, UPI showing a very much of high trend, and wallet, cash withdrawal, Veem are comparatively low. The second data I just
Ma'am, your time is up,
UPI.
ma'am. Please conclude your presentation.
Okay, sir, sir, is yeah. So yes, primary. Okay, sorry. So in a conclusion, what I want to see, the data I am getting from overall Indian record and my primary survey is almost matching. It's not that that are different in terms of, so UPI conclusion, UPI definitely a most preferred mode of instrument. Considering national level data, the cashless transaction is improving and the deposit in bank is going ahead. And regarding other mode of payment, only 1 minute, sir, give me. When students think whether future will be predominantly cashless, is not 100%. I was looking for at least 70 to 80%, but still 45 out of 85 is around 60% say yes, cashless economy we can go for. And majority of thing, yes, if we go more for cashless, we can think about more financial inclusion. In order to be cashless or to get the convenience, people can make more bank account, more use of a proper way of payment. That can be the findings. Few suggestions as well. These are the prerequisite if we want to go for a more of a digital kind of payment instead of cash or transaction. Though the survey is not yet that much of the whatever I was looking for. It's, we cannot say it's a 60%, 40% type of analysis what I am getting from my primary analysis. Anything, may I extend or I'll end up, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, the time's up, ma'am.
Yeah.
You can perhaps actually, ma'am can, Nisa ma'am can go ahead with asking the questions.
Sure, sure. So may I stop sharing?
Yeah, ma'am.
Thank you.
So here, in fact, I have got one suggestion, that is to include in your further studies statistical analysis for, to make it an empirical paper so that you can make your study more robust. Here you have used only data representation tools like, graphical analysis, just frequency analysis and other things, right? So if you want to generalize the perception of youth, you have to definitely go for empirical analysis by including statistical tools. Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Otherwise, you
T-test
cannot
and all.
generalize.
T-test I was looking for, but it's totally qualitative data, so it was taking time. That is the only thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Kanika ma'am. We have Mr. Atul Sate sir and Ms. Afshin Tungarkar. They are going to talk about analysis of artificial intelligence chatbots on customer satisfaction and food delivery services. They are presenting it offline. So please start.
Good morning, respective judge and all fellow participants who are online and offline. I'm delighted to deliver a presentation on analysis of artificial intelligence chatbot on consumer satisfaction and food delivery services. Now, imagine a situation where we are sitting at home and we are ultimately looking at ordering a food, and you're going on a chatbot, and suddenly the specifications of the pizzas that you like and the burger that you want in a customized format is in front of you. That's the beauty that artificial intelligence or artificial intelligence plus has got for us. With reference to food industry in particular, the topic is going to talk about the consumer behavior or consumer perceptions towards the various aspects with reference to responsiveness towards the AI chatbots. Since we are talking about the service industry over here, it is imperative for me to, it was imperative for us to look at the SERQUAL model, that is service quality model. So what we have done is, through the primary data that we have collected, we have achieved 3 different parameters of Cirqual model, and the other 2 is the remaining components of my presentation. So through primary data, we try to understand the impact of tangibility, which is one of the important parameter. The second one is in terms of assurance, and the third one is in terms of the reliability for that matter. So the research, keeping this particular backdrop at the mind, we have gone ahead with setting up objectives where we wanted to understand the overall landscape of AI, implication of AI chatbots as far as online food delivery services are concerned. And beyond that, looking at the 3 pillars of the Circular model. At the end, we are going to summarize the challenges and the future scope and offer some suggestions to improve the implication of artificial intelligence chatbots as far as online food delivery services are concerned. With these objectives, we have developed hypothesis, and the research methodology that we have used is to collect the primary data through a structured questionnaire. We collected data from 116 respondents using a structured questionnaire. The convenient sampling method was used to collect the primary data, which ensured that the responses that we have got are ultimately unbiased in nature. In terms of the demographic variables, we have covered age, gender, and the academic qualification of the respondents for that matter. Moving on, the hypothesis testing that we are ultimately going to look at, and I'll spare a little more time over there on that. So the first hypothesis was related to the tangibility aspect of AI chatbots, which has no significant impact on choosing online food delivery services. For that, we went ahead with one sample Kolmogorov-Smirnov test to check the normalcy and the correlation between the variables. The significance value for all of them were found to be 0.000, which suggests that the data is normal. So accordingly, we went ahead with the parametric test of T. The T test statistics indicate that the significance value for all 5 parameters, which includes food images, chatbot design, promotional offers, tracking orders, and user-friendly interface, all of them seem to have 0.000 as a significance value. So we can conclude that there is significant effect or a significant impact of tangibility as one of the parameter of choosing the particular online food delivery service for that matter. Moving ahead with the second hypothesis, which was on assurance component of Cirqual model. Consumers do not significantly depend on assurance. So there we have used a Friedman test. The mean ranks were over and above 3 in 3 of the cases, where it was less than 3, which is the median value for 2 of the cases. However, the p-value was found to be 0.007, which again confirms that there is significant dependence on assurance as a factor when we look at implications of AI chatbots in food delivery online services. The third hypothesis, where we use chi-square, which is a non-parametric test, but there was sub-hypothesis on the basis of age, gender, and qualification, which were ranked on the basis of actual delivery time, processing of order change, handling queries, promptness in resolutions, and consumer expectations. As far as age is concerned, we realized that for 3 of them, we failed to reject, so there is no significant difference. For gender, all the 5 factors we failed to reject, so there is no significant difference. But when it comes to qualification, we rejected for 4 of the parameters, which certifies that we are going to have a significant difference, significant association between the reliability. So the qualification is the most important factor where people think about reliability of AI chatbots compared to the age and the gender factor for that matter. Now, moving on to the last aspect of the key findings that we have is the tangibility, order tracking and delivery status is more effective. For assurance, transparency is the most relevant one. For overall service quality, the efficient handling of order changes is crucial. The major concerns include lack of personal touch, delivery delays, and frequent promotional messages. So again, when we talk about the data security, or we talk about the responsiveness aspect of Cirqual model, or we talk about the fifth aspect of empathy of service quality model, that was coming out from some of the suggestions and the challenges that we look at. Before I end my presentation, the common suggestion that we realized that we should offer to improve the efficiency and enhancement is to enhance the personal touch in AI, provide information, improve the chatting module so that we can bring more responsiveness and empathy. If these two factors are brought in, then we can definitely inculcate the missing parameters of Cirqual, and this could be a game changer for the future. Thank you so much for your patient listening. I'm open to any questions. Do we have any questions?
Okay, so
Lisa, ma'am?
how do you think, how do you think we can improve the efficiency of AI chatbots? What does your study tell you? Am
Yes,
I
ma'am.
audible?
Yes, ma'am. Can you please repeat the question? Sorry.
Yeah, sure. How do you think you can improve the efficiency of your AI chatbots based on your study findings?
So AI chatbots, based on the study, we realized that it's fulfilling the three parameters, but ultimately there is a difference between the intelligence and wisdom. The faster we bridge the gap between the intelligence and wisdom, the effectiveness can be improved. So today, it is a data fed in AI chatbox, and it gives answers based on the set information that we have. So we apply a little bit of more wisdom and more customization in terms of offering the solutions. That will be a game changer in the future, because we are moving towards being a youngest. We are already a youngest nation, and use of artificial intelligence in day-to-day activities like food delivery is going to obviously on rise. So if these two changes are brought in, I believe that we can improve the efficiency.
Which is true for any AI-based systems, right? The more it is trained, the more it works well, right? But then when
Yes,
you talk
more
about
trained,
serve
but
call,
yes, ma'am.
so based on your serve call model, your study findings say that the empathy factor or the assurance factor, which is considered very important when it comes to a service customer.
Yes, ma'am. Responsiveness.
How you can
responsiveness and empathy.
Okay, responsiveness and empathy. Okay, so do you think that these two elements can be taken care of in the future?
Yes, ma'am. So our study, we found that the aspects of empathy and responsiveness are currently lacking in terms of implications of AI chatbox. So if these two are also brought in, then it completes the whole picture, and the circle model can be effectively implemented. And then the use of AI in chatbox for food delivery services can definitely become a milestone in the implications of overall AI in India.
Okay, so how did you measure reliability? You have used chi-square test to check the association between reliability and the demographic factors, right? Age, gender, and
Yes,
qualification. So how did you
Yes.
measure reliability? Was it on a scale?
It was based on a Likert scale questions in terms of the agreement to the various statements that we had given.
Okay. So the concern is that when you do this chi-square test, both the variables, that is independent variable and the dependent variable, has to be in nominal scale, categorical scale, right? So your demographic factors, age, gender, education, qualification, you would have elicited it in nominal scale. But the reliability, you have measured it in interval scale, right? Or even, ordinal scale. So you have to justify the use of chi-square test. Either you have to convert it into a nominal scale and do the analysis. Otherwise, the rule is nowhere followed. So you have to have both categorical scales for doing a chi-square test. Okay. So just take care of that particular aspect, how you justify the use of chi-square there.
Yes.
So all the best.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I would like to call upon the next participant to start with the presentation. Please start sharing your screen. That's going to be Dr. Varsha S. Malla, Dr. Reshma Rajaram More, a comprehensive study on user perspective towards OTT platforms in Mumbai. Ma'am, are you present? Dr. Varsha S. Mala, Dr. Reshma Rajaram More. Ma'am, are you present? Ma'am, shall we move on to the next one? Nisa, ma'am?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Do we have Sravanti Sula? Sravanti Sula. Yes, I see Sravanti Sula, ma'am, over here. A literature review on the impact of remote work on work effectiveness of the employees. Ma'am, please start your presentation.
Sure, sir. Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Shravanti. I'm working in Kasturba Gandhi College, Hyderabad as an assistant professor. And I'll be sharing my screen. Just a minute.
Ma'am, if you have a network issue, you can switch off your camera.
Okay, sir, that'll be great. Oh, sir, is my screen visible to you?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, are you able to start the presentation?
Yes, sir. I'm facing some issue. Just a moment, sir. I'll be sharing it from my laptop. I actually joined from my mobile phone. I thought someone else was there before my presentation. So just give me a second. It's getting connected. My laptop.
प्रेझेंटर व्ह्यू मध्ये मी इथे करत होतो समोरच्या दिसत नव्हते. Ma'am, will it take time? Shall we move on to the next person if you're okay? We will get.
Sir, can I just give after this person? You don't mind?
Yeah,
Because
sure,
I'm.
ma'am.
Okay, so thank you so much for that. Sir.
Yeah.
Be ready
Do
by
we
then.
have Shinde Chaitalia? Shinde Chaitalia? Do we have Shinde Chaitalia? Human resource development practices for rural development. Shinde Chaitalia. Do we have Sheetal Kejriwal? I can see Sheetal Kejriwal. Ma'am, if you are there, ma'am, please start your presentation. Sheetal Kejriwal, ma'am. Sheetal Kejriwal, ma'am. Please start your presentation. Hello.
Sir, I have just, yes, sir. Sir, good afternoon. I have just joined, so I'll take a little while as I was given 10 times. So I'm just opening up my laptop. Yes, yes, sir.
Do we have, can we move on to the next presentation, ma'am, if that's okay?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do we have Athira M. Krishnan, Ashwati Anil Kumar Nair? A comprehensive overview of recruitment process and selection with special reference to IT firms in India in Mumbai region. Do we have Shabana Khan, Miss Kruti Shah, Miss Veerti Sangvi,
Yes, yes.
Miss Drumi Shah?
Yes, Mr. Mohit.
Yes, ma'am. Please start your presentation, ma'am.
Okay, I'll share my file. PowerPoint visible?
It's coming in online, ma'am. Just give it a minute. Nisa ma'am, are you able to see the PPT? Yeah, it's visible, ma'am.
Yeah.
Visible? Okay.
Yes, Shabana ma'am, you can start.
Okay. So my topic is, as you can see on the screen, a study on navigating the new normal, employee well-being and sustainable and engagement in the age of remote work. Okay. In recent times, the landscape of work has undergone a significant transformation, with remote work emerging as a prominent feature. While remote work offers numerous benefits, it also presents challenges that can impact employee well-being. Employee well-being is a multifaceted concept that includes things like physical and mental health, social connectivity, and general job and life happiness. Since employee well-being is repeatedly associated with increased levels of employee engagement, productivity, and employee retention, organizations stand to gain strategically by placing a high priority on employee well-being in addition to moral imperatives. Nurturing employee well-being is significantly important in the context of remote work, especially where it becomes difficult to differentiate between work and personal life. Overall, the aim of this study is to clarify the changing dynamics of employee well-being in the remote work era and to provide guidance and suggestions for companies. Moving ahead, one second, changing the slide. This is the flow of the entire presentation. Good afternoon, one and all. To begin with the quote given by Professor Samuel Harvey, where he says, creating a mentally healthy workplace should no longer be considered a peripheral concern for leaders. It is something that needs to be at the core of successful, thriving organizations. Considering the aim of my study, I have listed out three objectives which revolves around the importance of managerial support in order to assess the importance of remote work on well-being, then to identify the relationship between the perception which employees have toward work-life balance in remote work environment. The third objective states to analyze the impact of employer strategies on employee well-being. My study contributes or it might be helpful to all the organizations. Well, it will provide necessary insights so that they can accordingly strategize, so that they can maximize the benefits of remote work and also utilize or formulate necessary strategies so that they can enhance the well-being of their employees. At the same time, the organization can also benefit. The limitations of study as the sample size and the geographical area. The sample size was restricted only to between 87 to 90 respondents, and the sample of respondents are working population from the Mumbai suburbs and cities. And the study focuses majorly on the well-being of the employees. So it has ignored to a certain extent employee burnout uh, aspect. Further research could be conducted in the area where like for example, employee well-being for specific industry could be targeted. Maybe it could be healthcare or IT, or it could be something like education industry where uh, remote work could be a future. And in fact, many organizations or many education sectors already started with their remote workplace. Also, some global participants could be involved in the in further studies to have a global perspective. Moving ahead with a review of literatures, just highlighting few of the reviews of literatures from the eminent authors, where the first author underlines the importance of organizational support and policy actions. So it states that if you want to improve the employee well-being, it is important that organizational support and necessary policy should be devised. The second review given by Perny Force states that remote workplace and remote working has both positive as well as negative impacts on employee well-being and health. The third literature talks about how the working remotely can have positive as well as negative consequences of an employee well-being. And the last review talks about that some further research needs to be undertaken in this area. The research methodology, I have preferred exploratory study so that I can have a better understanding and in-depth insights of the entire topic. The population being the working population from the Mumbai city and suburbs. Sample location, of course, from Mumbai. Convenience sampling method has been used. People who are working and who are in my acquaintances, be it from business or education, has been was share the questionnaire to fill out the forms. Sample size 87. Primary and secondary, both the method of data collection has been preferred. And the correlation, Peirce's correlation method has been used to test the hypothesis. So here I have listed the 3 alternate hypotheses since we have restrictions on the number of slides. So all the 3 alternate hypotheses stands accepted as the p-value is below the significance level. So the hypothesis,
ma'am, your time is
the
up,
first
ma'am.
one.
Please conclude the presentation.
Okay, we'll conclude. So since all the hypothesis stands accepted, which clearly shows there is a relationship between all the variables. These are the basic data analysis and interpretation of all the responses, some major responses. So the few suggestions states that organization should have good strategies and proactive approach in order to deal with this employee well-being issues, so that not only employee benefits but also organization benefits. And to conclude, I would like to say that although remote work poses a lot of challenges to employee well-being, the impact varies from person to person, where some participants says that there have been you can say positive outcome or positive impact of the remote workplace, and some have mentioned that they felt quite loneliness or isolated, and they were not able to differentiate between the personal life while working remotely, and they had to answer emails and calls even during non-working hours, and how it caused the stress and well-being. So it is important for an organization how they can balance out uh, so that employees does not feel burnt out. At the same time, organization also benefits. So to end, these are the references. So the way I started with the code, I would like to end with the code that if you do not treat people with the respect they deserve, do not expect any kind of commitment to your productivity goals and target as given by the founder and CEO of Sobet Group. Thank you for your patient listening. Yeah, Mohit sir, I'm done.
Nisa ma'am, do you have any questions?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you've mentioned in your set of objectives that your first objective is to emphasize the importance of managerial support as well as impact of remote work on employee well-being, right?
Yes.
That is your first objective. Second one is to investigate the relationship between employees' perceived work-life balance. And then the next one is to analyze the impact of employer efforts on employee well-being and a sense of connection with co-workers. Okay, so your objectives and the suggestions that you have proposed towards the end of your presentations, I feel are not in alignment. So how do you justify that? Your objectives were to to assess the managerial support, to see whether there is a relationship between perceived work-life balance and then the employers' efforts on employee well-being. So how do you think you can give a suggestion to the practice or to the organization to take care of these aspects?
Yeah, okay. So the thing is, I have also asked one of the question where the certain strategies were asked to the respondent, like what all strategies are you satisfied with respect to the employee well-being, related to the employee well-being. So on the line of that also, I could suggest that since some people are satisfied with a flexible work environment, some people desire to have a flexible work environment. Some people feel that they feel quite independent and free, and they have good autonomy to make their own decision when to work, when to join. So what I believe personally is that if we have a managerial support and a good HR practices at place, tailored to the individual needs of the employees, like what they actually want in order to enhance their well-being, if it is taken into consideration, it will definitely work out. So what personally I feel that we should understand the individual needs of every employee as far as possible, and accordingly we should come up with certain type of strategies so that the employees are satisfied. Because as I said, as I concluded when I said that the impact of remote workplace varies from individual to individual. So what one person might feel it positive, might feel it negative. So accordingly we should come up with certain strategies. So on that, further research could be undertaken, like which strategies will work better.
Okay, so another thing is in your research methodology, you've mentioned exploratory study. Okay, so just rework on that, because when you do an exploratory study, you don't get into an empirical analysis. Otherwise, you have to mention it as a descriptive study. That is one thing. And another thing is you have used correlation. Okay, so when you are using or when you have planned to use correlation while you frame your hypothesis, instead of using association, it is better to use the term relation, correlated or related. Okay, normally we use association for chi-square test. Okay, we use the terminology association and hypothesis for chi-square test. That is one. And again, while you report your results, I haven't seen the p value, the significance value mentioned anywhere in your report. Okay, you have given the Pearson correlation coefficient, but I suggest you mention the significance value and say whether the hypothesis is rejected or you have failed to reject the same. Okay, so that is a suggestion from my end. Anyways, all the best.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for valuable suggestions. Thank you all. I'll stop sharing.
Ma'am, do we have Archana Ignath Thomre, ma'am? Can you stop your presentation, Shabana, ma'am? Do we have Archana Ignath Thomre, ma'am?
Excuse me, sir. Shravanti here. Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, are you
Sir,
ready with the presentation?
Yes, sir. I'm ready with my presentation. Can I present now?
Yeah, you can, if you are, you can stop your video, ma'am. You can start with the presentation.
Okay, sir.
Shabana, ma'am, please stop your presentation.
Yeah, stopping. I was just searching how to stop the presentation. Yeah, okay, done.
Shravanti, ma'am, please start your presentation.
Yes, sir. Can you see my screen now?
No, ma'am.
Sir, is my screen visible?
Nisa, ma'am, are you able to see the screen?
No.
Sir, is it visible now?
Yes, I saw a glimpse of it.
Ma'am, is it visible now?
Yes, now it is.
Ma'am. That's great, ma'am. Right now, just now, Shabana ma'am has mentioned about the remote work, the well-being of the employees when they are working remotely, right? So here I'm going to present about the work-life effectiveness on the employees when they are working remotely. So coming to my introduction, it is here during this COVID-19 pandemic, remote work and the usage of ICT has increased significantly. So employees these days prefer the remote work and seek flexibility in their work environment. And not only that, CEOs, but these days they are implementing only return to office, RTOs, despite of employees preferring this remote work. Now, the recent studies question the effectiveness or efficiency of the remote work because many of them are facing some productivity issues, many organizations. But a National Bureau of Economic Research study, they mentioned that full-time remote workers may be only 18% less productive. But there are so many debates among the executives stating regarding the long-term benefits which they are going to get out of this remote work. But these days, most of them prefer the hybrid work models, which are emerging as in potential solutions. The research suggests that hybrid work may optimize productivity and resolve some of the current issues which they are facing with. Now, resolving the debates on remote work, hybrid work models offer the advantage in terms of productivity as well as flexibility. Now, coming to my main objectives, I have focused on these things, and my investigation is all about to check with the productivity and performance and how effective they are when they are working remotely, and to determine the advantages, difficulties, and effects on productivity. And not only that, and to identify some of the practical methods for leading distant teams who are working remotely. And focusing on my research methodology, I have used desk research over here. I have gathered secondary data from whatever the articles which are available in our college library and some of the online journals and the research papers and so on. Next, coming to my particular research work, especially I have focused on the literature review, and I have taken out some of the literature reviews which are suitable for my particular study. So according to Alan, he said that there's some correlation between remote work and organizational outcomes like employee productivity, performance, wages, absenteeism, attrition, and so on. In the same way, Felset has mentioned that there is a conflicting evidence regarding the relationship between productivity and remote work, whereas some studies showing positive impact while others show none or some negative impact. And according to Bloom, he just highlighted mostly the positive outcomes which are there by working remotely. And Phillips and Gallant, they mentioned flexibility and work-life balance are key drivers of productivity for the remote workers. We have, next we have Lab and Wooden. They have mentioned the older workers are facing certain challenges when they are working remotely. And not only that, even young workers are getting stressed out. And we have Galanty Phillips. They mentioned that structured remote work environment and effective management support are very crucial for outcoming these obstacles and improving some productivity. And not only that, successful remote work implementation, it is going to hinge the new remote work reality and implementing some of the models that prioritize constant contact, support, cooperation, and knowledge transfer of the employees. And Epson mentioned about the well-designed performance management system, which is essential for improving the efficiency and effectiveness of the employees. Next, so from all these studies, I just came to the conclusion that all these studies on perceived productivity in remote work, but the overall there is some benefit. It is beneficial for the organizations. This remote work impacts work effectively in a positive way as well as in a negative way. So I have just mentioned some of the advantages which the employees are getting out of this remote work, like as I mentioned, freedom, flexibility, lower commuting cost, and better work-life balancing, job satisfaction, and increased productivity. Not just employees, even the businesses are getting benefited, like the overhead expenses, they can just reduce with this, and they can access the larger talent pool out of this. And some of the drawbacks which we have from the remote work is that sometimes there might be some communication issues, the teamwork issues, distractions in their work, lack of the managerial insights into them, and even staff may feel they got separated out of their work teams. And not only that, this effective management strategies can optimize remote work advantages, and they can just try to control these drawbacks, including the virtual team building, the regular commuting with the teams, or flexible work practices can be adapted. And not only that, management support for successful remote working models is very critical, emphasizing ongoing communication assistance, which they get from the team, some kind of help, teamwork, and knowledge sharing. All these are some of the conclusions which I have found from my particular literature review. And some future studies should continue to examine the changing dynamics in this remote work that will be for both employers as well as employees. This is all about my research. Thank you so much for your time. Yes, ma'am.
Nisa ma'am, do you have any questions for the participant?
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am,
Yeah,
you're
ma'am.
audible.
Shravanti,
Yes,
your
ma'am.
study was basically a literature review, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Because the earlier studies were there on this particular topic. What I thought is that I just tried to give an overview of what the research work has been done and how, like, I just concluded from all the research work which has already done on this particular topic.
Yeah, I got it, got it. So
Yes,
you are
ma'am.
looking at individual characteristics, technology, organization assistant that can, help in
Yes.
with lessening, listening
Exactly, ma'am.
difficulties.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
you have arrived at some conclusions like organizations can improve employee work
Yes.
performance and optimize remote work arrangements by implementing the
Yes, ma'am.
recommendations, whatever it
Yes,
was
ma'am.
mentioned. Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I
Yes, ma'am.
suggest that you use a
Yeah, ma'am.
framework when you go for a literature review. It would it would be more professional, or it would be right to use frameworks like Prisma is one model which you can note. Probably you would
Okay,
have
ma'am.
heard of it.
Okay,
Okay.
ma'am.
Uh,
Okay, ma'am.
and
I'll do that.
yeah, and it is always
Huh.
recommended to use tabular representations, when you
Okay, ma'am.
are able to extract themes or say identify categories
Okay.
or classes or maybe issues related to the topic. It will
Okay.
always be, better if you can represent your findings, or if you can classify your literature in a
Okay.
tabular format. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
And
I'll just take your words and I'll try to
yeah.
implement.
Another thing is, I do not
Yes.
understand why a standalone explanation on performance management system was given in your literature review.
Oh,
There were,
okay.
I think,
Hmm.
2 studies talking about performance management system. So they were like
Yes, ma'am.
put as standalone explanations, which did not sync with your overall
Okay.
review. So I suggest you representing your review in a continuous format rather
Okay,
than
ma'am.
giving it in chunks. Okay.
Fine,
So
ma'am. I'll take it. Thank you so
yeah,
much for this
take care of
feedback, ma'am.
that.
Thank
Okay.
you, ma'am.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Can we have, Archana Eknath Thombre, ma'am? Archana Eknath Thombre, ma'am? Are you there, ma'am? Archana Eknath Thombre, ma'am. Leadership in the 21st Century, a comprehensive study of digital management trends. Archana, ma'am. Can I move to the next one, ma'am? Nisa, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Amraja Shivkar, Maiti Joglekar, Sujata Borade, Smart Water Conservation and Rainwater Harvesting System, a step towards sustainable water management. Do we have the participants? Do we have the participants? Do we have Sujata Rahul Kotian, ma'am? A comparative study on behavioral analysis of emotion through speech emotion recognition of Hindi language.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm there.
Yes, ma'am. Please start with the presentation.
I'll share my screen. Is it my screen is shared? Uh, so
Yes,
my
ma'am.
screen
Your
is
screen is
visible?
visible.
Okay, okay. So good afternoon to everyone. My topic is a comparative study on behavioral analysis of emotion through speech emotion recognition of Hindi language. Myself, Sujata Kotian, I'm a research scholar from UDIT, that is University Department of Information Technology from University of Mumbai. Uh, so the major aim of the study that I am actually working on to build a model for identifying the emotions in Hindi language, its accent and its distinguished utterances through language processing, that is like using the NLP, natural language processing techniques, and speech recognition systems. Specifically for the study, I have narrowed down the major aim to the objective. There are 2 objectives for the research paper what I have tried to narrow it down. The first one, to survey on the existing research papers which are available from the different sources and which gives me the information about the speech emotion recognition system, if at all it is available, built for some other languages like English language or other languages which are globally identified, different forms of emotions. But here objective is like I want to find out the papers which are specifically going to speak about the speech emotion recognition system if it is available for the Hindi language. To review the existing research paper on speech emotion recognition system for Hindi language. So I have research papers. I have reviewed the research papers. I'll just open the link here. Nearly more than 50 papers I have already like reviewed and I have studied for my PhD. But then for the papers, for the research, what I have done, 15 papers I have listed down, which are quite relevant, because why I'm saying this, while studying, I have got number of information about the existing databases of voices of languages and accents or the utterances which are available for the different languages like English, Berlin or Chinese. But specifically for our country's regional languages, it is not yet so available. And specifically I've taken the Hindi language, so that it is a national language, so at least I can start with that instead of having any kind of other regional languages. So related to that, very difficult to find the research papers, because every research paper talks about that they are proposing that specific systems which can be able to identify the voices or the emotions through the the signals that we are going to pass it to the systems, but not readily I am getting any kind of databases which are available online. Also, I don't have any voice signals available. So right now I'm collecting those signals. I'm creating it through many a number of resources. I'm taking from the YouTubes. Cutting down those voices. So that's how I'm collecting the data. So I have the papers which I have reviewed. Probably they're all the research papers which are published in the international journals like IEEE or the Springers. I have mentioned the paper outcome also. As these all papers, what I have written over here, they're all latest papers, like after 2018, whatever papers are available, the research has done. I've taken those papers. Whatever techniques they have used in their papers for learning, so that also I have mentioned over here, and the number of accuracy, if they have used any certain model or they have compared with any existing simulation model, so what kind of accuracy they are providing it. Few of the papers have already mentioned. So you can see over there is 35% of accuracy being provided, some is providing 88%, like that way. But not, the accuracy is not reaching to that level where we can say that, okay, the Hindi language, it is not even Hindi language, they're just having the English language which they're comparing with the simulations. So this is the proposed methodology, that what I have proposed, that we are going to have some kind of a speech voices, and then that is been having a feature extraction, because the speech is going to come with lot of noises, lot of outliers that has to be extracted, that has to be removed, so that the the refined the speech or the voices that is been taken after this step can be trained using certain model, and that model can be built using the acoustic models, like you can have the hidden Markov models, you can have many other algorithms from the AI like deep neural network, you can have RNN. So these are all the number of models that we can make use of, algorithms we can make use of to decode the emotions from the speeches what we are going to get. And after that we are going to come going to give the final outcome, it what form the user or the one who has spoken, or the having the statements who are passing the statements are in which form of emotions. Now it comes with many limitations that I'm going to discuss. So to understand this voice signals, number of factors comes with the voice, the frequency, the amplitude, the pitch. This all we have to build. Basically, we have to build a system which is going to work on these kind of features of the voices, and then it can be able to take certain decisions. Now the limitation is that, first I said, there is an unavailability of a larger natural data set specifically for Hindi language. Okay, so that is what we are now creating it. I am just creating those databases. The system, speech recognition system, is available for the limited language. As I said, it is for Berlin, Spanish, Chinese and English. Other regional languages we don't have, so we are creating it. So these are the bibliography. Why I have taken this? Because it has number of applicable areas. Like in the COVID times, we had number of online sessions. So students, if they're going through any kind of stress and if they're not able to discuss with anybody, so through their voices, the systems can be able to, identify if they are going through any kind of stresses. It can be applicable in many
Ma'am,
other areas like.
your time is up, ma'am. Please conclude the presentation.
Sure, sure. So it's a bibliography. I would like to have the questions, if any, from the ma'am. Otherwise, from my end, it is, and these are a few bibliography I've mentioned over here. That's all my presentation.
Nisa, ma'am, do you have any questions for the participant?
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
So the paper that you had drafted, was it meant to be a review on the existing literature?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Like I tried to have a review on the existing papers. I tried to find out the papers, if at all, written for Hindi language, specifically because many people write for the speech emotion recognition system for the other languages, like I said, whose databases are available, because for them it is easy to, compare. They can use the online simulators available and they can put because there are available simulators online and they can put the values, they can compare with the existing one.
Okay, okay. So in that case, your objectives also spelled out that the intention is to survey on the existing SCR system, right? And the next objective was to review the existing research on SCR for Hindi language. So in that case, the methodology that you have put forward, the proposed methodology that you have given in your paper as well as in your slide, it doesn't look like the methodology that you have followed for a literature review. Okay. So this is for the actual, what do you say, the test purpose, the methodology that we follow for the same is being given here. So I would say the methodology that you've given is not in alignment with the SLR.
Okay.
That is one thing. And the next aspect is the study background, which you have given as literature review in your paper. I suggest you to give the, citations. Index citations are required. Okay.
Okay.
That is mandatory that you have
Correct.
give it there, and you give it in bibliography as well. Whatever you cite in text has to be there in bibliography. So I don't see any in-text citation here. So that is how you can improve your paper.
Sure, sure.
Either you limit it to as a literature review paper and you change your methodology that you have illustrated, or you say that it is a conceptual paper wherein you are planning to come out with such and such research questions, and you propose this methodology, this particular methodology that you have given. So in that case, it would make sense. Okay.
Sure.
Otherwise, this study is quite interesting and impactful, but then the paper needs to be restructured.
Okay. Sure, sure, sure. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your inputs. Yeah.
All the best.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I just received a message from Sheetal Kejriwal, ma'am. She's online. She missed out her name. Sheetal Kejriwal, ma'am, are you ready with your presentation?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please start with your presentation, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Sir, is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon, each one of you.
Ma'am, you can put your screen in portrait, in landscape mode, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes, so my topic is exploring the role and impact of sustainable HRM, a comprehensive study. I have reviewed various literatures, various papers through various journals, and I've read few articles to get the idea of the concept of sustainable HRM and how it is evolving and how it is giving an impact on the overall organizational development, plus on the performance of the employees. Sustainability isn't about the environment. It's also about building healthy communities like social justice and economic prosperity. The quote is given by Jose Andres, and this very well suits to my study as it also reflects the impact of the HRM practices or on the performance and motivation and how it affects the employees. So my objective was to understand the various dimensions of SHRM practices, first of all, then to study the impact of sustainable HRM on different aspects of employees' performance, and to identify the role of sustainable HRM in the overall organizational development. So these are the few variables that are important in the study of sustainable HRM, like organizational culture, then the HR practices that the companies adopt, then what are the employees' outcomes, how it is being measured, and external environmental factors which involves technology, and then there is the leadership, the kind of leadership. Sorry, I repeated the next point. So I have, as mentioned, reviewed various journals and various papers from journals, and I have just made a summary. I can also show the different literature reviews on another screen, but the gist of the review was that it acts as a catalyst for innovation, encouraging a culture of adaptability and resilience to changing its circumstances. It will continue to evolve because we haven't I did not found a particular um, uh, like this like the effect of HRM practices was different in different papers, and it was there's no proper method to study the impact. That's what I found out. That I found the gap there is there is no there's no proper format to study the impact of sustainable HRM practices, and there's no proper guidelines to what sustainable HRM practices are. So I would like to bring to your notice few of the research review points. There was one study done by Jepson in 2022. This study suggested a framework where the sustainable HRM principles employed at the industry level can they then filter back down the individual's organization, can they be part of the organization culture. Then there was one study done by Cabrera in 2020, and this study proposes association of system of HRM practices based on the type of employment relationship and sustainable strategies. There was one more study done in 2020 by Sigane, and the approach included the maintenance of a healthy and productive workforce was one of the primary goals linking to the sustainability and HRM. It was not only focusing on waste management and environment. So there are a few papers where which I found interesting, was the focus was also on the employee development, employee relationship, their well-being. So that was one major component of SHRM. So I would like to conclude here by saying that sustainable HRM is important in modern organization because it can integrate sustainability into the organization's fabric, align human resource practices with societal and environmental values, and can contribute to long-term organizational success responsibly and ethically. It's a key driver. It's a driving today's organization landscape. This approach emphasizes the link between human resource practices, environmental stewardship, and social responsibility. Why is the need of this study? Because it is emerging as a new conceptual approach, which is a promising new domain for theory building in the field of HRM. Even though studies in this field have been conducted, but much more studies can be still done. There's vast scope in this area, I found. And this whole exploratory study, I wish, will add to the body of knowledge on sustainable HRM and might offer guidance to the managers if done in detail and HR professionals regarding the application of sustainable HRM methods and their effects on workers' performance and motivation. Thank you.
Nisa ma'am, do you have any questions for the participant?
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, Sheetal ma'am, please switch off your sharing.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to do that, sir.
Okay. So in your study, one of your objective was to study the impact of SHRM on different aspects of employee performance.
Yes, sir.
Were you
Yes,
able
sir.
to do that?
May I ask you a pardon, ma'am?
Okay, I repeat my question.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
One of your objectives was to study the impact of SHRM on different aspects of employee performance.
Yes, 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 yes,
So
ma'am.
what are the aspects? What are the various aspects of employee performance, and what was your finding?
Okay, ma'am. So I did find out from the few papers that it yes had a positive impact on the performances of the employees. But then I also read in few articles that the employees were remain confused about the sustainable HRM practices, and there are two forces that were like some are very keen and very enthusiastic towards the sustainable HRM practices, and then there are forces that are indifferent and they don't show to the HRM practices. So if considering the employee side in the HRM strategies, including the employee side in sustainable HRM strategies, I think they can be made part of the because they can play a major role in this implementation and whole formulation and implementation of sustainable HRM strategies. So their well-being, the impact on them also should be studied. That's the gap I found, ma'am.
Well, in that case, I see that in your paper that you have sent the three objectives to understand the various dimensions of SHRM practices, to study the impact of SHRM on different aspects of employee performance, and to identify the role of sustainable SHRM. Okay, so this particular objective has to be addressed, whether it is through your SLR or whether it is through empirical study. I don't see that it is addressed. Okay, I don't see that it is addressed when it comes to the discussion or conclusion. And then citation was missing. Okay, so no citation was given in literature review. That is to be taken care of. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And it is always better to use a framework whenever you do a literature review. Okay.
Sure,
especially these days we call it systematic literature review, and for following it systematically you need a framework and precise one. Okay, all the best.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Thank you. I will note down your suggestions, and thank you so much for listening to me patiently. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, can you please stop your presentation? You can click on the three dots and you can see, do you see a stop sharing option on your screen? You can click on stop sharing.
I cannot see the option.
We can see the option on your screen. There is an option called as stop sharing. Please stop sharing your screen, ma'am.
I'll leave the meeting and then join back. Maybe that is easier.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine, ma'am. Ma'am, we have Athira M. Krishnan, ma'am, and Aswathi Anil Kumar Nair, ma'am, who are going to present. They have just responded back. They are online right now, ma'am. Please start with your presentation.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you can tilt your screen, ma'am. You can keep it into landscape mode.
Is my screen visible, sir?
Yeah, it is visible. You can rotate your phone into landscape mode so that the PowerPoint is visible properly.
So is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible. Please start.
So good morning, one and all present here. My name is Ashwati Anil Kumar Nair with Assistant Professor Athira MK. My topic is a comprehensive overview of recruitment and selection process with special reference to IT firms in India and Mumbai region. So here are some objectives of the study. Evaluate the overall effectiveness of the recruitment and selection process in IT firms in Mumbai region, and identify the critical success factors that contribute to successful recruitment and selection in IT firms in Mumbai region, and investigate the adoption of utilization of technology in the recruitment and selection process, and explore how the IT firms build and maintain talent pipelines. Going with the introduction, the recruitment and selection process in IT firms are crucial components of building high-performing teams that drive innovation and productivity in rapidly evolving technology sector. This process involves various stages aimed at identifying, attracting, assessing, and ultimately hiring the most qualified candidates for IT roles within the organization. Some of the points are identifying talent needs, job analysis and description, which includes creating detailed job and description outlining the job roles, responsibilities, and qualifications. Recruitment strategic development, that is developing a recruiting strategies to attract top talent, including utilizing various channels such as job boards, social media platforms, professional networks, recruiting agencies, and employer referrals. Then candidate sourcing, involving sourcing and candidate through the chosen channels in IT sector. Passive candidate sourcing is common, where the recruiters proactively reach out to the individuals who may not be actively seeking new opportunities but possess the desired skills and experience. Then next we have offer and negotiation, involving discussions on compensation, benefit, and other terms of employment. And onboarding, the first stage of recruitment and selection process involves onboarding of newly hired employees. This includes orientation, training, and integration to the organization's culture, process, and teams. Further, going with the review of literature, in their study, we have Gatewood, Field, and Barrick 2010 highlight the importance of strategic recruitment, emphasizing the need for organization to align their recruitment practices with overall business goals. And their findings suggest that the different recruitment channels yield candidates with varying levels of skills and qualifications. The work of the Ployhart and Molitereno 2011 delves into the concept of recruitment flexibility, emphasizing the need for organization to adapt their recruitment strategies to meet changing business needs and market. Uh, Conrad and Linehan, 1995, examined the role of biases in the selection process and proposed strategies to mitigate the impact of stereotypes and prejudice the decision making. Going further with the research gap, we have found that research on recruitment and selection process face notable gaps that present opportunities for further exploration. One key area is the integration of technology, specifically understanding emerging tools like artificial intelligence and machine learning impact the efficiency and fairness of their processes. And understanding and improving communication transparency and all over satisfaction from the application to onboarding can provide the valuable insights. Addressing these gaps can lead to more informed and effective recruitment strategies that align with evolving organization and social needs. The research methodology we have used here is variable considered is effectiveness of recruitment and selection and practices. Sample sizes we have got as 116, and the data collection is primary data that we have collected through questionnaire and surveys, that is Google Forms, and some of the published sources, and analysis and interpretation is through MS Excel. Some of the major findings and conclusions are job posting accuracy. Here we have got total 116 respondents. From that, 60.3 strongly disagree that job posting accurately reflect the qualifications and responsibility of the position. And second is onboarding process. Here we have got a response of 61.7% strongly agree that the onboarding process effectively prepares new hires to the productive in their roles. And third, employee sustainability. We have got 59.5% strongly agree that the employees hired through their recruitment process are well suited for their roles. The next is performance expectation for recent hires. We have got 47.8% strongly disagree that recent hires have met or exceed performance expectations. Next is newly hires training and resources. 59.5% has responded agree that new hires receive necessary training and sources to excel in their new roles.
And in training and development opportunities, 64.1% strongly agreed that the organization provides adequate training and development opportunities for employees. And in hiring time frameworks, 55.7% agreed that the candidates are typically hired with the expected time frame. And then we also had diversity and inclusion in hiring practices. In that, 62.3% strongly agreed that the practices in their workplace promote diversity and inclusion in the hiring processes. And the last diversity recruitment, we had got the response of 58.8% that agreed that there are areas for improvement in attracting a diverse pool of candidates. Moving forward with the suggestions, we have got ensuring the accuracy of job postings. Based on this finding from the data analysis, it's evident that there are several areas where the recruitment and selection practices in IT firms in Mumbai region could be improved. So firstly, that was the ensuring the accuracy of job postings is crucial to attract candidates who align with the job requirements, thereby enhancing the overall quality of applicants. Additionally, maintaining the effective onboarding process is essential that to prepare new hires adequately.
Shruti ma'am, your time is up.
Yeah.
Please conclude.
Yeah. So these are the some references we have been gone through for our research paper. Yeah. And lastly, thank you.
Nisa ma'am, do you have any questions for the participant?
Yes. Okay, so that was Athira, right? Or Ashwati?
Ashwati.
Ashwati, okay. So you have mentioned a few theories in relation with your work, okay?
Yes.
Under the head theoretical framework, you have come up with quite a lot of theories: human capital theory, RBV, person environment theory, social exchange, signal theory. Okay, can you justify the inclusion of all those theories in this particular work?
Sorry, ma'am. Actually, I didn't get your question.
See, okay, I'll make it simple. What was the rationale in including quite a few number of theories in your work? You have included a lot of theories under the head theoretical framework. So what was the rationale behind that? Did you get my question?
Hello.
Am I audible?
Actually, I didn't get.
Fine, okay. So the paper that you have sent has a subheading theoretical framework. Okay. In that you have mentioned resource-based view, person-environment theory, social exchange theory, psychological contract theory, critical theory. In fact, quite a lot of theories you have mentioned, and that too, it looks like a standalone portion. In fact, this particular paper has not got into a real empirical analysis. You have represented the data. You have done some percentage analysis and some data representation in the form of sorry, graphs and pie charts. It's well and good to get an idea about the responses related to your objectives. It is fine, but then in a paper you include a theoretical framework when you have a model to be proposed. Here in the study, you have not proposed any particular model. Okay. So when you have a set of variables and you have to establish, when you want to establish interconnections between those variables, you get a model, right? Which can be tested. In that case, you can relate that model to any existing theory. So in this case, that was not required. So that is why I asked you that question. Okay. So just take care of that part when you do similar studies in future. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
All the best.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Can we have Mr. Darshan Kumar Patel and Baswehavar Jirvankar, Unlocking Consumer Insights, the Power of Consumer Analytics.
Yes, sir. We are here.
Are you ready with the presentation? Please start, sir.
Yes, sir. I hope my voice is audible clearly.
Yes, sir. If you are facing issues with network, you can switch off your camera. Your PPT is not visible.
Yes, sir. I am sharing my screen. I hope my screen is visible, sir.
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible, sir. Please begin.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. So I am Dr. Basweshwar Jirvankar and Mr. Darshan Kumar Patel. We are here from Assistant Professor in Civil Engineering Department from SVKM's Institute of Technology, Dhulia, Maharashtra, India. So we are discussing about the presentation today related with unlocking the consumer insights, the power of consumer analytics. Actually, this one is the review paper which was collected from varieties of the literatures, and these are the several contents from my presentation today: introduction, significance, methodology, applications, ethical considerations, real-world instances of big data's assistance in studying, staying, prospective research plan, and the final one is the conclusions. So here we are in the introduction as the data-driven insights into the customer behavior that we can find out into the real voice of customers here, as the objectives are highlighted here only. The importance in the age of the data abundance, utilization of cutting-edge technologies like machine learning and AI. Because what happens whenever the situation arises related with the COVID pandemic and such kind of crisis, after that there should be, we can say, a little bit of less time consumption related with the customer analysis and their behavioral sciences from varieties of the industries. As we know that if there are chances of utilization of cutting edge technologies these days, they are so much in the boom, like AI and machine learning are taking the insights related with the customer behaviors, and the significance of consumer that has been analyzed by understanding their behavior, their prediction related with future trends, optimization of marketing strategies, varieties of decision makings, improved customer service, and product development. So according to those significances, varieties of industries are working over the customer behavior nowadays, and they are also tackling the situation related with the future trends. And after the final decision making and customer service, the final production will be there, and the production will be marketed or socialized through varieties of the platforms and modes. So how the actually methodology deals with? So start with the data collection, data integration, segmentation of data into varieties of segments, prediction and its analytics, then behavioral analysis, personalization, real-time analysis, reporting and visualization, and the ethical aspects, with the final key approaches of the consumer analytics. Initially, the customer should be analyzed by the data according to their retention of the customers. And after that, customers need to be engaged into varieties of the segmentation and their real-time analysis. Now, coming towards the application across industries. So there are two types of applications, retail one and financial one. In retail, there should be optimizations of inventory and supply chain based on the customer preferences. It is varying according to the varieties of industries and their product-based customer relations. In finance, there should be an accurate credit risk assessment and fraud detection through transaction of the data. So here comes our final objective. We need to rely on the customers with the risk assessment. If there is a higher level of risk due to the usage of the AI and such kind of technologies these days, there should be varieties of the technical glitches. Those are need to be fixed out before going for the transaction of the data. Then there are ethical considerations like importance of data management and the privacy protection with addressing the moral issues of gathering and using of the consumer data. So while gathering the data from industries, those industries are need to respect for privacy, accountability of customers, accuracy and integrity, legal compliance and fairness and bias. So there should be a prior aim that should be considered related with the consent, communication and the confidentiality related with the data. But varieties of industries are not maintaining it. It should be priorly indicated by the industries. Now coming towards four different real-time examples of from global level, how the Starbucks, Netflix, American Express, and Coca-Cola are trying to have their customer relationship with the approximation of data, their trust, their anticipation of purchasing, and integration related with the analytics. So here you can find that how the customers are need to be segmented and integrated with their personalization related with the contribution from customers to highlighted over here. After that, the prospective research plan for utilizing consumer data in marketing. There should be ethical frameworks, advanced data analytics, contextual understandings, omni-channel consumer behavior, data visualization, and long-term goals. So those long-term goals should be related with the impact of emerging technologies, customers, consumers, trust, and their relationship building, and the personalization with whatever they need. After that, coming towards our conclusion of the study, as already said that this one is the review related to the study of consumer analytics and their behavior. It is crucial for all type of businesses that to go for the success ratio for the customers and the data-driven strategies enabled with the businesses related with the priorities from the customers to the industries and their relationships for the foster growth and harnessing the consumer data related with targeted experiences, pleasing the customers, fostering the growth, and the data-driven technologies related with AI, ML should be used up to the extent related with the comprehensive insights for
Sir,
developing the
your
business
time is
plan.
up, sir. Please conclude.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This one was the conclusion, and thank you so much for providing the opportunity for the presentation.
Nisa ma'am, do you have any questions for the participant?
Yeah, just one question.
Yes, ma'am. Please.
What is the difference that you see in analytics? You were talking about consumer analytics, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And AI.
Yes, yes. So actually, coming with the particular discussion related with consumer analysis and AI, ma'am, actually what happens when the different agencies are trying to have their consumers related with the blended mode or related with the offline mode. So what happens once the customer need to go for the product, then industries need to respect their privacy, their consent, their confidentiality and communication. So the consumers will try to go for the product by the industries and it will be have the healthy relationship between the consumer and industries. I hope I have addressed the question, ma'am.
See, I just wanted the basic, wanted you to,
Yes, ma'am.
understand the basic difference between analytics and AI, because these days people, use both in conjunction with each other. So, but many fail to understand that analytics is, all about learning from, historical data, whereas AI,
Yes.
it is more or less human-like insights or decision making based on the algorithms that you use. Machines learn from a given set of data. So
Ma'am, actually,
whether to embrace the traditional analytics or to go for AI-based systems is a question that organizations are to address. So
yes,
that
ma'am.
is what I wanted to, highlight here. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Well, okay. Okay,
Thank you so
thank
much.
you. All the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I would like to ask if anyone is still remaining with the presentations. Yes. Is there anyone still remaining with the presentation, they have not yet got a chance to present. Nisa ma'am, I guess we are done with the presentations over here. I believe that I'll just tell you the numbers, ma'am. Please confirm me whether these numbers, because we have made a note of these presentations. Serial number 1, serial number 5, serial number 7, serial number 11, and serial number 12. Serial number, no, these have not done the presentations. Ma'am,
Okay,
these are the
1,
people who have
5,
not done the
7.
presentation. Can you confirm?
Yeah. 1, 5, 7.
11
then
and 12.
11 and 12. Yeah.
Ma'am, can you confirm whether these people have not presented in your marking sheet?
Yeah. Valentina has not presented. 1, 5. Yeah, 5 has not presented. 11. Archana.
1,
told
5,
them,
7, 11, and 12.
7.
One is
Shinde.
Valentina Vincent.
Shinde has not.
Yeah.
Then
5 is Dr.
Raja
Varsha S.
Shekhar.
Malla.
Yeah.
7 is
Yes.
Shinde Chaitalia.